and flu for people with high blood pressure.
Like my dad.
Medicine. Use as directed.
When it comes to covering the high school sports scene in Arizona, AZ Preps 365 has all the answers. Every Saturday morning from 8 until 10, they break down games, interview the newsmakers, talk with coaches from around the state, and stay up to date with what's happening with prep athletes and breaking news from the Arizona prep scene. It's AZ Preps 365, 8 till 10 Saturday mornings on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Jim Gaffigan here with some more Straight Talk. Let's take a moment to appreciate our sweet children, loving grandparents, and eternal soulmates. Now let's use them to save money on wireless. Because with the Straight Talk Silver Plan, you get 4 lines for just $25 a month with unlimited data and no contracts. So add those human loved ones, and save money. Thanks, kids. You're finally worth it. Straight Talk Wireless, available at Walmart.
Get 4 lines on Silver Unlimited for $25 per line per month, plus taxes and fees. For data management practices and additional terms, visit straighttalk.com.
Greg Clark Automotive Specialist, located on the southwest corner of Bethany Home and 19th Avenue, servicing Valley automobiles for 44 years. And we're offering our fall inspection on the belts, water pump, radiator, and hoses. Also, our brake service inspection, recommended every year to prevent repairs and ensure top performance. For guaranteed family touch service, contact us at 602-246-2881. Highly rated by Google. Online at gregclarkautomotive.com. Mention the Fanatic to get 10% off.
Don't be fooled by the people you meet on social media. It may start as an innocent conversation, but anyone who tries to sell you pills is nothing more than a drug dealer. And if you think tiny pills can't do much harm, think again. Fentanyl can end it all. Know the truth about fentanyl at learnmoreaz.org. Don't be fooled. Don't be faked out. Visit learnmoreaz.org. This message is sponsored by the Substance Abuse Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
As we plan for our retirement, there are 4 questions we need to ask ourselves or our retirement planning advisor. How much? How long? How safe? And what cost? Let's start with how much. That is, how much income we think we'll need each and every year for the rest of our lives, including all the activities we want to enjoy during our retirement, like travel, recreation, and entertainment. Plus the cost of housing, including repair and maintenance, taxes, insurance, and utilities, as well as the cost of healthcare, including expenses not covered by Medicare.
Enjoy safe, secure lifetime income of 5 to 9% for life, depending on age and deferral period, with no fee deductions and no annuitizing. Guarantees rely on the financial strength of the insurer, so let's compare free in Scottsdale. For more, visit iqannuity.com, iqannuity.com, iqannuity.com.
KQFN AM Tempe, K257CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM, K240 EU Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM. Mornings are better with Wake Up Call with Tony and Ron. Weekday mornings on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
All right, people, settle down. Because it's time. Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's Monday here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live from the Harmon Solar Studio in Scottsdale. And wow, what a great Sunday. All of our teams won. Not you, Keon. All of our teams did great. It was, our NFL dream come true. Sorry, Keon. I mean, it was just a day to remember. Sorry, Keon.
You're
Okay.
just starting right off, are you?
Am I supposed to be hurt by this, or I'm not?
You're not hurt. You're not surprised.
No.
You're not downtrodden. You're not gonna.
I
miss
want my
Ron
coach
Rivera.
fired. Yes. Like why? Just say that as like it's a bad thing. It's every loss that man takes is one step we have to him being gone, and taking Jack Del Rio and this horrible defense with him. Go. Lose as many games as you have to. I will buy a ticket to Washington, D.C. I will fly you to the airport myself. Wow.
Some days, losing's a good thing. Some days, the thing that was supposed to happen happens. You're anxiously awaiting the change of staff for your Washington Commandos. Randy is anxiously awaiting his team becoming a good team again. I'm anxiously awaiting a quarterback to show up and maybe make the Colts what they are supposed to be. None of those things have happened quite yet, but Arizona State University just got a dream come true. Athletic director Ray Anderson has officially resigned, ladies and gentlemen.
One weekend, 2 wins.
Well,
Wow. Wow. And basically, and I put this on Twitter, but it's the truth, he just pulled the Danny Glover right there in his saying goodbye when he was sitting there saying, as I approach my 7th decade of life, these are not matters that my leadership would be able to. He just said, I'm getting too old for this bleep. That's all that is. I'm getting too old for this bleep.
Well, he wasn't going to get fired, so.
Yeah, we'll never understand that. He should have been fired many times over.
Oh,
and
my heck. Yes.
This news story says, there's highs and lows. His highs were overseeing the $268 million renovation of Sun Devil Stadium and the naming rights agreement it got, $38 million apparel deal with Adidas and ASU. But the lows, lack of winning and Herm Edwards and, lack of winning. So, and the reasons, well, we all know. So anyway, now he's gone. Now there's an interim guy, and now we look forward to who might be next. Is there any word on who they might say, hey, here's a guy, who should be our next athletic director?
Oh, as far as an athletic director, why I hope they go out and get somebody that's qualified, not somebody that is,
Ray Anderson.
Ray Anderson. Yeah. I hope they go and get a legit athletic director, bring him in to help the programs here at ASU. I mean, they deserve more. They deserve better. I mean, we're one of the biggest universities in the country. We should be winning championships. There should be all sorts of great opportunities for these students and student athletes that come and play at ASU, and make it a place where athletes want to come and participate. So
I'll tell you what, it was nice that we scatterbooed right in the face of UCLA this weekend, 17-7. Nobody saw that coming. Nobody saw that coming. Won't even put us in the rankings, will it, Keon? Won't even jump us to the AP top 25, right?
On account of it's only your second win of the season.
I know.
11 weeks in. No, it's not going to do that, but it does show some things about this team that I really, really like. The defense is already good. There's nothing to build there. Like, that's already pretty solid. But I think that the other thing is, Kenny Dillingham is not even running the offense he would like to run yet. And it doesn't matter. He's found a way to say, you know what? These are the guys that I have. I'm going to play to their strengths. And Cameron Scadaboo rushing for 2 touchdowns and then throwing a pass for another one on top of the 150 yards on the ground he had as well. He was incredible. He was incredible.
Yeah.
So I know we had a pretty bad loss recently, but across the board in the season, the Sun Devils have been close in a lot of the other losses, Southern Cal and Washington. And this is the most impressive win that you're going to see. Why is this so impressive? It wasn't just a fluke win. We were down 5 offensive linemen. Okay. They had 14 different people hurt going into this game, and they still pulled off a win. So that's got to give Kenny Dillingham some credibility, I think. I think it's got to give some credibility just to the spirit and the fight of this team. But, UCLA can have a bad day. You can't have we were missing 14 of our players and still won kind of bad day. So that has to be more a plus on the side of ASU than just a giant minus on the side of the Bruins, right?
Yeah, it is a plus. I mean, they were completely.
Well, no, you know what I'm saying when I say, well, it wasn't so much ASU won, the Bruins lost. Not in this case.
No, not in this case.
Lose,
ASU went out and
kicked some ass.
Won the football game against the UCLA team that is a quality football team. They're not going to be competing for a title or anything like that. But when you look at who they've beaten this season, they've beaten some good teams, and the teams they've lost to have been really good. So the idea that they would lose to the Sun Devils is a testament to the Sun Devils and what they've managed to do so far.
It seems to me, though, that Chip Kelly's losing it a bit. I mean, he was making some serious errors down the stretch. I mean, his clock management wasn't there. He couldn't get the offense to do what he wanted the offense to do. It didn't seem like they were prepared. Maybe did they kind of overlook the Sun Devils and look to next week and just kind of figured, oh, this is going to be an easy one, and came in here with a lackadaisical attitude?
I don't think so, because they'd already lost the week before. They already lost to Arizona. So I don't think they got to feel like they were in a position where they could overlook their opponents. They're 6-4. You know, this wasn't a season where they were cruising through anything. A lot of those victories they needed to earn. But I do agree with you. I do think that Chip Kelly, I don't know. I'm not going to say he's lost his touch so much as once he went to the NFL and came back, he hasn't been able to get on the cutting edge of college football anymore. Whatever he had, whatever magic he had when he was up, you know, at Oregon, he hasn't been able to recreate it anywhere else.
He had revolutionized college football with that up-tempo offense, that quick pace, and wearing the defenses out. Nobody had thought of that and had been doing that before, and he had perfected that. And plus, he had all the talent at Oregon, which I don't think he's got the same kind of talent, the same caliber of talent at UCLA.
Everybody eventually goes the way of the Belichick, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, because I mean, he was the reason why college football looks the way it looks is in large part because of Chip Kelly. But I do think he went to the NFL where the game is different, and then when he came back, you look at all these coaches that have found ways to build on what he did. You know, whether it's Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss right now. You know, if you want to look at Lincoln Riley at USC, all of these guys that have found ways to blow past what he did originally, he just can't keep up.
Well, I feel that there's one thing that is very important, and that is that Cam Scatterboot it takes what I said at the beginning of the show and puts it on T-shirts. We just scatterbooed in the face of UCLA. That's what we just did right there. If he can find a way to trademark that term, scatterboot, we just scatterboot all over you. I think that that is money in the bank right there.
It just sounds so wrong.
Exactly. You don't even, NIL money be damned. He'll sell T-shirts. So that's great. ASU beat a team. Talk about upset alert. But then also here's some other things that happened. In case you care, and even if you don't, the Phoenix Rising won the USL championship. Anyway,
good for them.
Also Grand Canyon University beat the Fighting Lumberjacks of NAU 89-55. Well, that was not very Christian of them, was it? Put a 34-point beat down on them.
I don't even think they were trying to run up the score. They were.
Don't tell me they didn't try to run up the score when they did a half-court heave and they made it.
The game was closer when that happened.
Oh, was it?
Oh, yeah. It was the heave that when they made that a 12-point game.
When I saw this score, all I could think is they're already halfway home to Flagstaff. There's nobody there, and the Grand Canyon is just taking shooting practice. That's why this score is so lopsided.
It got really bad in the second half.
ASU basketball beat the Texas Southern Tigers, and then of course all the Arizona teams, Cardinals beat the Falcons, and then there was the ugly. We have the good, now here's the bad and the ugly. Suns can't seem to win a damn game. They got beaten by the Lakers. They had pretty well control of that game until the end, and then of course the Thunder, looks like the Thunder, beat them fair and square. Now the Suns are. Ooh, they're lagging behind. Donnie says, what excuses will you guys have today on the hottest NFL team in the league? The Cardinals?
What do you mean?
You know who he's talking about.
What do you mean? What team is that?
My Colts?
The Cardinals?
I don't know what he's talking about.
I also would like that he's thrown out excuses like everybody hates the Vikings.
Yeah.
Did the Vikings win?
Did
the Vikings win again?
Why do we need excuses for anything? Hottest NFL team in the league. You better check yourself before you wreck yourself.
You won 2 in a row. Keep rolling. But
I thought they won 5 in a row. Didn't they win 5 in a row?
Have they?
Did they?
Yeah.
In the card. Oh yeah, look they beat New Orleans. How about that?
You beat a guy wearing an eyeliner. Good for you.
Well, they knocked him out early, and
it was Jameis. Famous Jameis was back in
Jameis, give me the lobsters.
Yeah,
Winston came in.
Couldn't eat a W. Couldn't eat a W. He was full, I guess. But listen, the whole point is, except for the Suns, all of our teams did very well. So
and
I don't
do
know
have
what the deal is with the Suns, but
I have my first concern of the Suns this season.
First,
yeah, because I mean before
I was concerned Friday.
They were
for the record.
They're figuring it out, but I'm not going to be worried. But there is something that has popped up as an actual trend, which is the fourth quarter with this team.
Mm-hmm.
They do not close out games. They should have beaten the Spurs. Fourth quarter just completely melted down, including that steal from Kevin Durant that finished the game in the first Spurs matchup. Another meltdown against the Thunder. Another late game collapse against the Lakers. Like the fourth quarter seems to be the problem that this team has right now.
Yeah. Kelly Oubre has a problem not getting hit by a car. But the Suns can't get out of the fourth quarter. What the hell? What is he? See, here's the thing. I heard Kelly Oubre got hit by a car. I'm thinking, it had to be like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. It was 7:30 at night. He's just walking along, minding his own business, get hit and run. Is he okay, by the way? I knew he had a fractured rib and a couple other things.
He was in stable condition the last time I saw him. So,
and
that was earlier today. He was in stable condition.
So a fractured rib, that sounds like it hurt, but it sounds like not that big a deal. But if there's other things that are wrong with him, other injuries that are involved, it could be a while before he gets back to basketball.
Well, I'm sure they're doing more tests on him to make sure he doesn't have any internal injuries. I mean, that's kind of a scary thing. And I always liked Kelly Oubre. I liked his work ethic. I liked the way he went about the game. And prayers and thoughts go out to you, Kelly Oubre. I hope you get well soon.
I always thought somebody was just saying Kelly Bray in Pig Latin, but Oubre. Anyway,
I could see that. Yeah.
So here's the thing: he's walking down the road, and all of a sudden, this car comes the other direction, and it tries to turn on the street where he was going. Bam! Got him, and hit him in the upper chest area with the driver's side mirror, and that's how he got his rib fractured there. But he also has some injuries on his hip and his right leg. Those might be things that are relative to him playing basketball anytime soon.
See, I was pulling into the dentist office today, and I was coming around a car that was already parked, and I was pulling in. This lady comes out. She's got her head down into her damn cell phone.
Of course.
And I almost hit her, and she didn't even look up. She just kept walking, and I'm smiling at her, hoping that she looks at me so I could just say, "Dumbass." And then, but no, she didn't look up. She just went, got in her car, and took up.
Should have honked.
Well, I mean, I could do that, I guess. I didn't think about that. See, Jeffrey, you have all the good answers. I don't.
You should also have a train horn installed on your hood.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. I should have one of those babies, or an air horn.
Yeah. Oh no, the train. She'd poop a little.
Anyway, I could see how Kelly Oubre would get hit. People are not paying attention.
It's not that he wasn't paying attention. I think the guy in the car wasn't paying attention.
I've also had cars that people are driving down the road. They got their head in their phone on the cars. Not supposed to, but they do, and they're not paying attention to what's going on. I can see how Kelly Oubre. If I'm going to advise Kelly Oubre, don't take a walk anymore. Go somewhere. Go walk on a track at a school. Don't go out on the sidewalks or the city streets because, gee whiz, people are not paying attention out there.
Blissful Hayes says, you forgot to talk about Arizona Wildcats. No, I didn't. Moist One says, pretty sure Scataboo is the most popular porn category in Japan. You'd know, pal.
No.
Navy Brad says, good Monday to all. Randy, nice watch.
Oh, well, thank you. That's one of my favorites, the Invicta. It's a diver. It's just nothing special.
It's always strange when you get a nice watch compliment. I don't know why. I remember when we first started doing the show on video, I was in the studio and it was more of a full body shot. And some guy was like, nice watch. Made me like nervous. Like, are you going to steal my watch? I don't think Navy Brad would steal your watch, but it's.
No, Navy Brad is a collector, as am I. And Navy Brad has something like 200 or something watches that he's collected over the years.
Nice watch you got there.
And so we connected at a remote, and we talked about watches. So he appreciates a nice watch.
I'd take it off your arm, and then I'd take the skin off your arm, and I'd fashion a lamp out of it. See, that's what I hear when I hear somebody say
really
nice watch.
It's really got kind of.
Well, that's what I worry. That's what you got to worry about. You don't know. But I mean, Navy Brad is okay.
There.
Yeah, Navy Brad's not going to take my skin off.
But the guy who had sent me that message, it was just like, hey, O'Brien, Nice watch.
So that's a guy that would take your skin off?
You can never know.
Hmm.
Maybe, Brad, you've got 140 watches?
He's got something like
Holy
160,
crap.
something like that.
The worst place to get a nice watch compliment is the bathroom.
Yeah.
Just standing at your urinal.
I'd say, be like, you mean the one by my penis? That's what I would yell. So maybe he wouldn't look down there anymore.
Just nice watch. Like, you know what?
My eyes are up here.
I'm actually done now.
Eyes up here, Jack.
I'm cutting off the stream. It's over.
No, I can't cut off the stream, man.
No.
If I'm going, I'm
can't do
going. I don't care what the person says.
He's young, and so his body still works. Mine, it sounds like a leaky faucet shutting off. It
And it fires back up again, or I don't know.
Maybe sometimes, yeah. Oh yeah, sometimes.
Cardinal Art says today is a great day in Arizona sports history. That's right, for ASU, that is. Ray Anderson left the building. Woo! And yes, I'm texting this at 11:37 a.m. Pour me up one, Randy, please. Yep, the minute the news broke, Cardinal Art was so happy.
Because the thing with Ray Anderson, the reason why it was just hard to fire the guy is that there are some schools who have prioritized making money over the winning games. And Ray Anderson was really good at making money, like really good at raising money for the athletic department in the university. You have to turn around and turn that into something. But some schools will settle for a guy that's just good at making money.
Yeah. We don't need money. We don't want money. We want wins.
Yeah.
That's what we want. And wins, it's in the Bible. Wins begat money. I love the word begat. You don't ever get to use it. Hardly ever.
Unless you're quoting the Bible. That's the only time.
Quoting the Bible, begat, saying begat. That's it. That's the only thing it begats.
I know.
Yeah.
That's maybe a stretch. Yeah.
It's not a stretch. It's true. Reading the Bible begats getting to say begat, because you don't ever say begat usually unless you're reading the Bible, or unless I just pulled one off right there when I said that maybe getting wins begat money.
I don't know what you do to pull off. I'm just saying that was a bit of a stretch.
I pulled the hell out of it. That's what I scatterbooed all over that vocabulary right there.
Well, that's
see,
right.
I begat the opportunity to say scatterboot again.
All right.
Baker's Cocky Hen says made some good plus money live bets yesterday. Browns after they muffed the punt, plus 470. Cards after Falcons took the lead back, plus 175. There you go. Baker's Cocky Hens working those live bets. Donnie's like, it's 5 in a row. Okay, we're going to pat you on your head, Donnie. That's good. Good for you, Donnie. Good for you. Good for you. Is that what you wanted? Or I don't know.
Congratulations, Donnie. Good job on your team. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, we should probably take a break now. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's action update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. The best way to start betting smarter is to sign up for a free VSiN subscription at vsin.com/subscribe. That's vsin.com/subscribe.
Couple of games in the NBA tonight. The Cleveland Cavaliers visiting the Sacramento Kings. The Cavs are a 1.5-point road favorite, minus 122. Sacramento plus 104, over under 225.5. The Bucks playing tonight against the Chicago Bulls. Milwaukee a 9.5-point favorite, minus 460. The Bulls are plus 350 with an over under of 230. Celtics and Knicks meet in the East. Boston a 9-point favorite at home tonight against New York, minus 390. The Knicks plus 310. The over-under at TD Garden is 221.5. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN action update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Get ready for holiday feast season with Pepto-Bismol.
Uncle Derek's here with his famous fried turkey. Hey, Aunt Mary brought the mac and cheese. Donna's here with the potato salad.
Pepto-Bismol provides fast 5-symptom relief for unexpected stomach upsets. So enjoy the holidays. Pepto has you covered, no matter who made the potato salad.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Pepto-Bismol. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
When it comes to covering the high school sports scene in Arizona, AZ Preps 365 has all the answers. Every Saturday morning from 8 until 10, they break down games, interview the newsmakers, talk with coaches from around the state, and stay up to date with what's happening with prep athletes and breaking news from the Arizona prep scene. It's AZ Preps 365, 8 till 10 Saturday mornings on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Grand Canyon University basketball is back for another exciting season. After advancing to March Madness in 2 of his 3 seasons as the head coach, Bryce Drew brings a team to the court this season, picked to win the conference once again, and led by first-team All-WAC selection Gabe McLaughlin and WAC preseason Player of the Year Ray Harrison. Check out the schedule at gculopes.com to find matchups with San Francisco, DePaul, Liberty, and last year's national championship runner-up, the San Diego State Aztecs. Join me, Michael Potter, and Lopes insider Paul Coro all season long right here on The Fanatic, the home of Lopes basketball.
Dave Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic, and boy, we got a wacky schedule this week. Good news is on Monday night and Thursday night, those games are here on 1580 The Fanatic, and it starts at 5:30 p.m. That's all solid, okay? But this weekend is going to be something because GCU is in a tournament, I think a tournament of their own making. And so they've got a game on Friday. San Francisco is going up against GCU at 6:45 p.m. Then on Sunday, anything could happen because it depends on if GCU wins, and they should. Then their next game will be Sunday at 2:15. It'll be either DePaul or South Carolina. If they lose, they'll play one of those two schools at 4:45 p.m. So that will make the decision whether or not we'll have the following. So we know for sure that on Sunday morning, we'll have the Bears and the Lions at 10:30. We might have the Seahawks and the Rams at 2 p.m. on Sunday, and we might have the Vikings and the Broncos at 5:30 p.m. 2 out of those 3 games are going to happen. It just depends on where GCU lands, in the timing of everything.
So you're saying that the Gamecocks are coming to Phoenix?
Is it what, South Carolina?
South Carolina.
Is that the Gamecocks?
South Carolina. It's Gamecocks.
Is it the same South Carolina? I don't know.
University of South Carolina, USC. Gamecocks.
Are they in the WAC?
No.
Yeah, so this is not the Gamecocks.
It is.
It is the Gamecocks?
Yeah, because DePaul's not in the WAC either.
So the Gamecocks are coming.
Yeah, it's just
so the Cocks are coming.
They are coming.
They are coming until they're here.
A little bit late for Cocktober, but they're coming.
Yeah, it is late for Cocktober. Yeah, you can't call it that.
What is this Cocktober? What is it? What is this?
Well, we're in November now, so it doesn't matter.
It's late. It's just the Gamecocks usually play well in October. It's just the thing.
So, all right, like I said, it's either DePaul or South Carolina, and it's either 2:15 p.m. or 4:45 p.m. One way or the other. We're getting 2 NFL games in there and a GCU game. And then, of course, Monday Night Football will be normal again, so it's all good. So everybody straight now on that?
Boy, I hope so. I'm just excited. The Gamecocks are coming.
Yeah, I'm shocked. I didn't know that would ever happen. 888-368-1580. Taco Kenny says, hey, could you please pour me a glass of Jack for the Lakers and the Raiders winning 2, roll about damn time 2. Winning 2 roll. I don't understand what you're saying. But Taco Kenny, of course, will give you a drink. And yeah, good for you and your teams. Our teams, not so much.
Congratulations, Antonio Pierce. I think does that shoot holes in our theory about Jim Harbaugh going to Las Vegas and be the Raiders coach?
No. I think he'd go to the Bears personally, but I don't think it shoots holes in him becoming an NFL head coach. Just not sure where. But here's the thing. There's going to be a meeting, and Jim Harbaugh is like, I'm going to be at that meeting, and I'm going to talk. And I'm sure anybody who pretends to be his lawyer is like, I don't think you should. But he's gonna, because he's like, I got something to say. That's probably the quickest way for him to end up in the NFL, though, if you ask me.
Huh.
Just say something stupid, Jimmy. Go ahead, say something stupid.
Well, I mean,
what could he possibly say? They got him dead to rights.
They hung 30 on the Giants last week, and they kind of squeaked out a win this week. But it wasn't against one of the powerhouse teams. They beat the Jets 16-12.
What? Huh?
He's talking about the Raiders.
The Raiders.
Oh. I don't know.
I mean, it's not like it was, you would think they would beat the Jets a little better than, by 4 points.
Well, the Jets got a good defense, and they kind of hang around. You know what I mean? They try to hang around,
and their offense is terrible. And I mean the Jets. So you I don't know that you could beat them worse. Their defense is great, and they can't score.
Taco Kenny says, "Is it Gamecocks or is it Gamecocks?" Well,
it's definitely Gamecocks.
Yeah, Gamecocks. That's what I've always heard it since I was a child. Let's see. Blissful Hayes says Gardner Minshew proves again that he's the Colts quarterback of the future.
Well,
does he?
You're the blocked
did
texter
you
of the
did
future.
you watch that game and come away going Gardner Minshew looks good at football? Because I didn't come away thinking that.
Wow.
You came away thinking Bill Belichick needs to go now. He needs to just go ahead and just go now. Pinocchio says, my Patriots are horrible. I can no longer find a reason to defend Mac Jones. I have nothing but sadness. Sorry, Pinocchio. And I have been telling you since last year that Mac Jones is not the way to go there. And now you know. Fish Tank says, hey, Donnie, just wanted to check in. Are the Detroit Lions going to win your division? One of the saddest franchises in sports history? Just checking. Haven't been keeping up. Just, Fish Tank and Donnie have been doing battle on the Twitterverse.
It's been fun. I got my bag of popcorn, just sat down and had a watch. Yeah.
It's time to go ahead and watch that. Once one person, it was Fish Tank, says, I've got receipts. It's like, here we go.
Boy.
Here it comes. Yep. Now we're going to see a story. Cool and Brandon is on the text line, says, good win for your boys, Randy. Gary Coleman's son did a great job that no one saw coming. However, Ralph Sea Chickens eked out a win. Ugh. But my Niners won against a good defensive team. I still pull for the Cards until they play us. Not too hot, not too cold, just cool. So there you go.
Well, I'll tell you, the 49ers looked amazing this week, but they everybody's back and everybody's healthy. I mean, if they have the whole team going down, I don't have any problem calling them the favorites to go to the Super Bowl. I mean, if they have everybody in there, but if they lose Ayuk or what is it, SE squared? What's his name? The running back. If they lose
CMC Music Factory.
Yeah, that's it. If they lose him, then they got problems. If you look at the stats, this team is not the same without MC Hammer.
MC squared.
And what?
MC squared Hammer.
Right. And Brandon Ayuk. They're not the same. Or Deebo Samuel. They're not the same.
Tia was said, so glad Ray Anderson's gone. That ass clown couldn't be more overrated, overpaid, pompous, incompetent as an AD if he tried. Now, ASU can hire the UConn AD and the correct Hurley. And by the way, fire Brandon Staley. Man, he got it all done in those texts right there.
Wow.
Got it all done.
Very efficient.
The Jet says, speaking of Ralph, what day is he on this week? I don't know. Whatever day he feels like coming on. Usually Thursdays. Bliss Lay says, Detroit Lions head coach has huge knocking testes for his fourth down decisions to go for it. Yes, he's got gigantic balls. And that is what Jared Goff said. But it's funny. Oh, he's got some huge nuggets when he decides to do that. But if it didn't work out, they'd be like, what a moron he is.
How about the Chargers, though? I mean, how many points, 3 points or less have they lost this season? Isn't that like 6?
Let's take a look. Let's take a look at the
He'll take a look.
The scheduling here for the
several
Chargers.
Games they've lost by 3 points or less this year.
They opened the season losing to the Dolphins 36-34. Titans 27-24. You get down to the Cowboys, which is their next loss, 20-17. Not so close as their loss to the Chiefs, 31-17, and then last night another close one to the Lions, 41-38.
They have 4 games, 3 points or less this season, and they could have had a chance in every one of those games.
Is that fire Brandon Staley then? Is he the reason they can't get over the hump in those games?
A little bit, because his defense is supposed to be better than this, and it's not. and that's what they hired
that
him
could
to
be
do.
the players just not playing well. It doesn't mean it's his fault. I mean, if you can pile up all the dumb decisions he's made, and we've seen him make more than a few, and that equals out to his fault, then yeah, the dude should be fired. He's the one holding them back from winning the games. But if it's just a matter that his players are not playing up to what they should, that doesn't mean it's his fault.
All I'm saying is he had a defense, I believe with the Niners, that had a bunch of talent on it. Then came to the Chargers, tried to run the same thing, and it did not work. And you have to change something. And he doesn't have a thing to change it to. He doesn't have, a second scheme that he can get to with his defense. And yes, players have to go out there and play. But from watching them play, I am not certain that the reason why their defense stinks is because the guys can't play. Sometimes the scheme, I don't know what he's doing. That's just plain and simple. What he is asking his defense to do by dropping back into coverage and not pressuring any quarterback, it doesn't work with the personnel he has. It just doesn't.
I'm just making sure before we all jump on the fire Brandon Staley bandwagon. We've seen some dumb calls where we're like, oh, he should be fired for that.
Yeah, like Dan Campbell goes for it on fourth down, but like Brandon Staley will go for it on fourth down like 2 times in a game at crucial points. And you're just like, why did you do that? There's no reason to have to do that.
La Furia Roja says, thank you, everyone, for the good vibes. We are USL champions. Go Phoenix Rising. Anyway, Tia says, we're 29-29 and Justin Herbert starts. He's not the problem, though. Fire Brandon Staley.
Well, no, because in all these games that they appear to be losing, when you look at the points that they've put up more than enough points to win a football game in the National Football League. At some point, your defense has to stop people. You can't give up 36 points and win.
Yeah.
The Tennessee Titans lost. You can't give up. If your offense scores 24 on the Tennessee Titans this year, you should beat that team. Yeah. There's no reason to lose that game. It just isn't.
Tampa Bay just beat them, and then Tampa Bay scored 20 points.
So there's times I see texts that come through, and I think, what the hell's going on there? And then I realize the name of this texter should be enough to help me with that. Booze and Raider says, this has been a Charger demo for the last several years. They always lose games by 3 points or less. Well, talk with them Raiders to know if your new coach. Go Raiders. And then just simply, Mo.
Wow. Kind of like flew in here. They dropped a few lines. Thumbed out a text and then just kind of fell out of the picture frame.
Yeah. Booze and Raider. All right.
Yeah.
We agree with you. Okay. I don't know. The Jet says, wait, what? Phoenix has a professional soccer team? Oh yeah. Yeah, that's been that.
They just won the
they threatened my life a few years ago.
They just won the USFL or the NAWC or the MAA or
it's the USL.
What the hell is it? USNN.
It's the USL. There's only 3 letters.
It's the U-Haul Soccer League. I think it's sponsored by U-Haul.
MW SUL.
It's
like that.
U-Haul Soccer League, USL.
Hey, whatever it is, they want it. So.
Yay.
Good for them.
Anyway, Donnie says, people like Fish Tank thinks division titles are won in September. Wouldn't expect anything less from fans who haven't experienced winning since they were toddlers.
I just can't imagine being a Vikings fan and typing that sentence.
We're not in September. We're in November. So
it's just in terms of the Super Bowls that those franchises have, I would not have typed that. That's just me. That's just me. I'm not saying anything about you. That's just
Let me
me.
just say something. Donnie, even if you clone Fran Tarkenton, it's not happening.
Oh my God.
It's not happening.
That's the most hurtful thing you could have said. What? Oh my God. Why did you say that? That's so much meaner than anything you could have said.
Oh my God.
There's a level of cruelty that just didn't need to happen.
Speak softly.
Just straight fire. Straight fire. You don't bring up Fran Tarkenton. Oh my God.
That is not a name that comes up lightly. That is. Ooh.
I'll take what comes next. 888-368-1580. Let's celebrate your win, Randy.
All right.
Now, but also let's pump some brakes. Okay. First, let's celebrate the win. Then we will pump some brakes.
Did I come on bringing on fire about the Cardinals?
No. But I know that people who listen to the show are prone to such things.
All right.
Jumping ahead of themselves. And Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray shows up, and my wife got mad at me immediately. Before the game started, I'm out there in the back getting the grill fired up, right? Because I was gonna make us some good burgers, and so I come walking back in, and I'm like, "Oh, he's so adorable! Look at the little coat! Look at the little oh my God!
Yeah,
look at the little guy! Oh,
You shouldn't do that. Yeah.
But that it was actual. You know how I am when I see a puppy,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I could be like giving a eulogy, and he was one of the nicest. Oh, look at the puppy. That would be me.
Yeah.
So that was the same thing. When I walk in, I see little Kyler Murray. He's like, "What are you so small? Look at how small he is. Oh my
You know
God,
what,
he's
Alex?
adorable."
I want to congratulate you, Alex, on your self-control, allowing him to continue to breathe.
Well, there was
of life.
a room between us, so I had a running shot at it if
wanna-
you decided to.
Just wanted to congratulate you, Alex, on your self-control.
So, he showed up. He didn't re-injure himself. There was one point I thought he was limping a little bit. I did see one
I saw
moment
that.
towards the end.
I saw that.
But, he played some Kyler Murray ball, and you guys beat the juggernauts that are the Atlanta Falcons 25-23. And, it was, you won. Yay.
Yeah. We did win, as I predicted.
Win number 2
Yeah.
for the Arizona Cardinals.
And so begins the damn run of the table towards the end of the season. But
So I took a look at the games that are left, and this is where the break pumping starts, Randy.
Okay. All right.
Because we're going to go through the last bunch of games. Okay,
right.
you got the Texans. You will
Win.
not win that game.
Win.
You got the Rams.
Win.
Well,
it depends on who's playing quarterback for the Rams.
win.
Yeah.
is Stafford going to be back by then?
I don't know.
They have
Don't care.
such an arsenal of receivers.
It's a win.
Cardinals versus Steelers. I think you
Win.
can win that one.
Mm-hmm.
49ers and Cardinals.
Win. That's a win. It's going to be
Not a
tight one.
chance.
We're going to win that one.
Zero chance.
It's a tight
Not
one.
even in hell.
Yeah. We're going to win that one.
You have a chance against the Bears. I'll give
Yeah,
you a
yeah,
chance
it's a
on
win.
that one.
Yeah, it's a win. Yeah.
Eagles, I'd stay home. I would just skip the game if you can.
Hey, again, that's going to be a tight one, but
The
that's a win.
Seahawks will
Oh,
take
my
care
God,
of you.
that's-
There's
that
only
is a,
two games.
complete and total win for the Cardinals.
2 games.
No, all of them.
You got the Bears, you got the Steelers. What do you
Yeah.
concur, Dr. Keon?
Yeah, and the Steelers are still going to be tough too, because it's Mike Tomlin. I mean, as bad as you want to say the Steelers are, they are 6-3 because Mike Tomlin. And as long as he exists and is the Steelers head
Wow,
coach,
I just-
you are not guaranteed a victory against that football team.
My God, I've seen enough Steeler games where I can't believe they're 6-3.
I
All
can't
right.
believe it either. I feel like every time I watch them, they lose, but then there's 6 victories and only 3 losses. What are we supposed to do with that?
All right, I'm taking that one off the board, Randy. I'm just going to say you've got your best shot against the Bears
Well,
for another
that's
win.
That's too bad for
The
you
rest
guys.
of it, not so much.
And if you've got, whatever horrible version of the Rams might exist, you
Mhm.
might have that.
Yeah, that one's maybe.
No, we're going to run the damn board. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Listen, let me say this.
I will give you a
Uh,
car if they
but-
run the board.
All right. I want a pickup truck, and I want it to be 1990 or newer.
Okay.
The Cardinals look. Kyler looked a little rusty, as I expected him to look, a little rusty. But he also showed some flashes of real brilliance. I mean, he was moving around well. He was pushing the ball up. He did not seem to be afraid. He didn't have happy feet. He moved the ball when he needed to. He ran out of bounds a couple of times. He ran that touchdown in. It seems like he was unafraid to move. He was throwing the ball with a good velocity. He underthrew a few passes. And I think, this week he'll look a little better. And I think the week after he'll look a little better in that. So that's why I say that I think Kyler Murray is feeling comfortable. And we'll have to see what the next couple of weeks have for the Cardinals. I'm not saying that they're going to go to the playoffs. I'm not saying that they're going to go to, win the Super Bowl. I'm just saying this is good news. It seems like right now it's good news for the Arizona Cardinals. They came out and they beat a pretty good Atlanta Falcons team. Now, I want to be quick to say, the Arthur Miller Dance Studio does not know how to run a football team because he's got 2 elite players on his team, and he just doesn't use them. If I'm him, I'm either throwing to Kyle Pitts or I'm giving the ball to Bijan Robinson and running all day. That's all I'm going to do if I'm the Arthur Miller Dance Studio head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. I will say that. The guy does not know how to coach. So,
and you only beat him by 2 points. So
did
there's
use
where
Bijan.
the breaking of the pumps, the pumps of the brakes.
Saying,
Take it
W's a
easy.
W.
You're going to get one
W-
more win, and we'll
W's a
move on with our lives.
Well, we're going to get fired.
But congratulations on the W. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
All right, we got to take a break. We have more games to talk about. In fact, it is our goal in the next 2 hours to talk about every single game that happened on Sunday in the NFL, leading up to our Monday Night Football presentation of Broncos and Bills. Yay.
Oh, my God.
The Thursday Night Football is pretty good. Bengals and Ravens. That'll be good. And then, so Monday Night Football next week. Eagles and Chiefs. That's not bad.
I want to ask you guys about Laverne and Shirley at quarterback when we come back.
Laverne and Shirley?
Yeah. And I think you know who I'm talking about.
I got to take a moment with that.
Bengals quarterback, Laverne and Shirley.
Why are you calling Joe Burrow Laverne and Shirley?
No, it does say Bengals. I'm sorry. I meant Ravens. Laverne and Shirley.
Why are you calling Lamar Jackson Laverne and Shirley?
Yeah. We'll talk about it next.
It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Kevin Harlan here from Monday Night Football on Westwood One. This week, Josh Allen and the Bills meet the Broncos. Buffalo needs a win following last week's loss at the Bengals. Quarterback Russell Wilson in Denver are coming off a bye and a 2-game winning streak. Ross Tucker now have all the action of the Broncos at the Bills on Monday Night Football.
Right here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Score early this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. I like putting a spread bet together with the over for my parlays, and anytime player touchdown always has me on the edge of my seat. So if you're ready to do the same, visit FanDuel.com/win and kick off the NFL season. That's FanDuel.com/win. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
21 plus and present in Arizona. First online real money wager, only $5 pregame money line wager required. First online real money wager, only $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342.
Hi, this is Scott Trout of Cordell & Cordell. There are a lot of great dads out there. Sometimes those dads get divorced. For more than 30 years, we've represented men in divorce, confronting the pitfalls that could devastate your finances or harm your family relationships. While every situation is different, our goal is to get the best outcome for you and your kids. Visit CordellCordell.com to take the first step.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Phoenix area attorneys. Scott Trout, licensed in Missouri, Illinois, and Georgia only. CordellCordell.com.
Paid for by Cordell & Cordell.
There's a reason why conventional healthcare is referred to as practicing medicine. Hi, this is Dr. Hannah Lindsay. At the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, our doctors are experts in full spectrum care using a natural approach. I regularly see patients with a variety of acute and chronic health conditions, including many autoimmune and rheumatological diseases. We can restore pain-free joint function and balance immune, digestive, and hormone systems, which often improves both immediate physical symptoms and overall well-being. We emphasize natural and holistic interventions with lifestyle changes and take advantage of the full palette of care options from traditional remedies to modern science. We collaborate with experts in a wide range of health disciplines, including physical therapists and specialist physicians, referring patients as needed to ensure the most effective care possible. So how about a second opinion on your health? You might just end up feeling like yourself again. Call Naturopathic Physicians Group at 480-451-6161. That's 480-451-6161, or go to naturopathicgroup.com.
Marijuana may be legal in Arizona, but driving impaired is not.
As a police officer here in Arizona, I know DUIs apply to more than just alcohol. Anything that impairs driving makes you dangerous on the road. If you feel different, you drive different, and driving impaired can get you a DUI.
Get the facts at drivinghighaz.com and spread the word with the hashtag HighDUI. This message is sponsored by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
Don't like holiday ads in November? Well, neither do I. But if you want a custom at a wholesale price for the holidays, we have to tell you now. We can still build you custom jewelry in time for the holidays at wholesale. Hi, Diamond Dave. We bring you the lowest prices and exceptional service, ensuring your experience is as smooth as possible. And if you don't need a custom, we can still help you with our incredible selection of top quality diamonds. You can capture the spirit of the season and give a gift that will shimmer with memories for a lifetime. From stunning engagement rings to sparkling necklaces and earrings, we have the perfect present for every chapter of your love story. Make this holiday season truly unforgettable by choosing a diamond from me, Diamond Dave. We guarantee the highest quality and craftsmanship for an exceptional value.
Call Diamond Dave at 480-397-2450. That's 480-397-2450. Or follow him on Instagram at Diamond Dave Cantor. That's at Diamond Dave, Kantor.
Download our free sports app and stay up with all the latest sports news, scores, highlights, and more. Or stream us live anywhere at 1580thefanatic.com. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, Arizona's home for sports.
Hey, Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic, and the reverberations of my Fran Tarkenton line earlier are starting to come back. Just another face in the crowd says, "Did I hear Fran Tarkenton? That's incredible." The Jet says, "Jesus Christ, Jeffrey, that was pure flamethrower." Also, I predicted the Cardinals win last week. Moist One says, "Is Fran the lady with the raspy voice?" Yes, Moist One. That's exactly who we're talking about. The lady from The Nanny who is running SAG now. Well done. 888-368-1580. Fubar 1000 says, "Howdy, Blender dudes. Very bumpy week for fantasy football, especially in League Two. Got no production from my wide receivers or running backs. Dak scored half my total points." Yeah, it's going to be another one of those weeks. I know for me, Moist One, I think will easily defeat me. Again, I have no business being as highly ranked in the Premier League as I am. I just happen to be lucky to get wins where people have their worst days. That's basically the only way I've survived.
Well, I don't know what's wrong with my team because Berg beat me. I was going along their swimming
I thought
lane.
you had it all done.
Oh no, he's beat me. Yeah.
Well, what happened?
Well, one of the things is I had Lamar Jackson on my team, and that's one of the things I want to talk to you guys about. Lamar Jackson on my team. I don't think I should stay with Lamar Jackson on my team.
I had that same question last week.
Oh, Randy, you had Brock Purdy sitting on your bench at 34 points.
That's my there
Dude,
it is. There is my quandary.
Not to get
Randy.
into my fantasy team thing because I know nobody really cares. I had Sam Howell with 38 points on the bench, and I too have Lamar Jackson. And every time I ask somebody, should I start Sam Howell over Lamar Jackson? They go, no, obviously you can't do that. And then I don't do it. And it's like the fifth time in a row, Sam Howell has outscored Lamar Jackson. What am I supposed to do?
The last time I didn't start Lamar, he scored 46 points.
Okay, that's the thing. Is like
the
the moment
problem here is you guys are too close to it. If you'd asked me, I looked at Lamar Jackson, and he's going up against the Cleveland defense that is pretty damn good. Yeah. And I see Brock Purdy going up against Jacksonville. I'd have been start Brock Purdy all day, every day.
But he got 34 the last time he played Cleveland.
I wouldn't. It's about the matchup, as you guys now know.
But that's the thing is if it's about the matchup and he's already beaten that defense badly, you would think that it should be possible for him, of all people, given his skill set, to do it again.
I still would have suggested to go ahead and not use Lamar Jackson. And for you, Mr. Fun Bunch, you don't have any. You got to say, there's your Sam Howell. Yeah, the Seahawks. Yeah, that's a good defense, though. But I think the Cleveland defense is better than the Seahawks defense. I would have started Sam Howell as well. In fact, guess what?
They're average
in another
against
league.
The pass.
In another league, this is going to kill you. in another league, the Commissioners League, I have both Sam Howell and Lamar Jackson, and I started Sam Howell. Money where my mouth is.
I started Sam Howell or had him in the starting spot, and I talked to Rosalie, and she talked me out of it. She talked me out of it.
62 points in the Commissioners League there. Just saying.
I got talked out of it, and I knew it. I just should have just gone with my gut.
You should always go with your gut. Always.
Well, my gut has been notoriously bad at fantasy football.
You have bad guts.
So I asked Rosalie, and I just did what Rosalie told me. And I was sitting there.
Rosalie.
I am not blaming Rosalie. I have to make my own call. But man, that is just frustrating because every single week it's like, should I do it now?
You don't know frustrating. You don't know frustrating. Listen to this. I had Brandon Cooks, who I was sitting there going, gee, I remember that. Remember when I said that last week? Yeah, maybe I'm going to dump him because he's all over the board and he's just not really pulling through for me. And she's like, no, don't dump him. You might bounce back. I was like, yeah, but at the very least, I'm benching his ass. And he broke 35 points. Guess who didn't do anything on the big beatdown that the Cowboys put on the Giants? Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard did nothing. He had 5 points. I had Jalen Warren on my bench, who got 22. I could have played him instead. I almost did. So, yeah, I know your pain.
I mean, I drafted Cooper Kupp. I understand a little about frustration.
But in spite of all of that, you got to make up your own mind on stuff. My wife, man, I tell you what, I can't win. My wife, she'll ask me, this is when I know I'm in for trouble. She'll start asking me what I think about fantasy football players, or she'll start asking me even worse. So who'd you pick? Who'd you pick in this game? Who'd you pick in that game? So then what I don't know is as I'm telling her who I picked, later she's like, I should not listen to you. Like, I didn't give you advice. You just asked me who I picked.
I did not give you advice.
That's different. That's very different. That's a different thing.
Don't blame me for the fact you changed your pick based on what I was doing. And I feel like my picks might be a bit bust this week.
Oh, mine are horrible. I didn't feel good going into this week either. Yeah, no, this was a bad week.
So anyways, well, I don't know what we're talking about, but are we talking about?
But yeah, I'm not going to blame Rosalie because the fact of the matter is, like, I am the person running my own team, and of course Rosalie is offering advice, which, like we do with Against the Spread, it's worth mentioning. You're not going to be right 100% of the time. Sometimes you're just going to be wrong about stuff.
Well, she has a high, percentage.
Yeah, she's right more often than she's not. It's just,
yeah, I'd put her and the King up against each other any day. In fact, one of these days we're going to do that.
And actually, he gave me similar Lamar Jackson advice in the past too. It's because it's Lamar. Like he's just, that when he goes off, it's going to be insane. It's just the moment you put him on the bench, that's when it seems like he goes off. Then you start him and you're like, oh no, it's 12 points. Fantastic.
Well, in my house, I just about start twitching when she's like, so who'd you pick? I'm like, oh God. I don't want to get blamed.
I actually didn't pick anybody this week. I just didn't choose at all.
She starts asking me fantasy football questions. I'm just to the point now because I did. I told her I gave her I can't remember what it was. I misread some information and I told her something and then she got hosed by it. And I didn't read something as clearly as I should. So, but she asks me, well, who would you take? And I'm like, man, I don't want to play this game. I don't want to, because I don't want to get blamed. I feel bad if I give somebody, advice and things go poorly. But so that's why if you hear me emphatically saying something, then I'm really confident in it. Kind of like I was in the defense against the Cardinals the week before. That one right there, or just whether or not it was a lock. That's what it was. It was a betting lock. So here's the thing. It's like, you can't get mad at the experts like the King or Fantasy Girl Rosalie Michaels or your husband, honey. You can't get mad at people that, when they're just, because you never know what's going to happen. It's kind of like the draft. Boy, you can have all the information in front of you, the correct information, and you do what you do, and that is based on the correct information, and then it doesn't go your way. Now, there's some things we see coming, like the Mitch Trubisky thing with the Bears. We all saw that coming as a bad idea. But there's certain players where you're like, yeah, you should get that guy. Everything on paper says yay, and then later on, bust. So you can't second guess, and you don't know what's going to happen. You just give your best educated guess. So Rosalie Michaels and the King have a high percentage of being right when they make their guesses. But in the end, it's still guesses. You can't tell until it's happening.
I'm just kicking myself because I feel like I should have gone with my gut. I just didn't do it.
Everybody who
hurts
ends up
my
on the
soul.
wrong side of their gut feels that way. Everybody. But then again, if you had been right and your gut wrong, would you even remember it? Or would you just be like, woo, yay, me.
Well, I would still remember it just because, winning's hard, man.
I have a short memory when it comes to that. If I would have gone by my gut and been wrong, I'd be like, no, look at me. I'm a winner. I don't even care. That's in the past. This is the future where I'm a winner. This week, I'm a loser because Moist one like I said, I'm good for 100 points. That's all I got to say about that. So,
you get what you get.
That's it. All right, we'll talk football when we come back. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower for steamy Vicks vapors. Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower use for adults only.
Hi, folks. Robert Quigley here, America's Independent, Washington, D.C. We're on the road to the White House. Today, who are my favorite presidents? Well, they're Teddy Roosevelt, Dwight Eisenhower, Jimmy Carter, and of course, Andrew Jackson. Teddy Roosevelt was a great outdoorsman, so am I. Dwight Eisenhower, a war hero and a Republican president that showed that big government can do great things if managed properly. Jimmy Carter was very unpopular in his lifetime. However, he did show how great of a senior statesman he was post-presidency. Andrew Jackson, I love Andrew Jackson. Forget about the slavery stuff. He tells us that there's a great tension between the judicial branches of government and the executive and legislative branches. We will come back to this. Big government can be a force for good. These presidents tell us that there's a triumph of the ordinary man that will take America far. Career politicians are the wrong way to go. Join Team America. Go to robertquigleyforpresident.com. Donate what you can. And together, we will make America work for all of us.
Paid for and approved by the Robert Quigley for President campaign.
If you are an IT professional looking for an opportunity with great benefits, the freedom to creatively solve problems in a career with great growth potential and a team environment, look no further than Affinity Technology. Serving the Valley since 1992, Affinity Technology is looking for a level 1 tech to develop and deliver excellent solutions and outstanding customer service. Visit atechaz.com/jobs and get started with your future today. That's atechaz.com/jobs.
Sun Devil football returns to Mountain America Stadium to take on the Oregon Ducks Saturday, November 18th for the Salute to Service game.
Forgay will throw for that far corner. Caught for a touchdown.
Get your ASU Oregon tickets today by calling 480-727-0000 or go online to sundeviltickets.com.
Gadaboo with the catch, has the first down, stays on his feet, and he's going to go to the 20, 10, 5, touchdown Devils.
Don't let your kids get fooled by the people they meet on social media. It may start as an innocent conversation, but those strangers are using their relationship to deal drugs to your kids. If you think tiny pills can't do much harm, think again. Fentanyl can end it all. Find resources at talknowaz.com. Don't let your kids get fooled. Talk to them. And visit talknowaz.com. This message is sponsored by the Substance Abuse Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
Live from the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale.
This is KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix, 99.3 FM.
And K240 U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down. Because it's time. Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 4 o'clock here on Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your ready pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. Yes, we're talking NFL football right now. Yes, we're aware that Jimbo Fisher just got paid in lottery money to go home and do nothing. $77.5 million. Not bad, huh, Blissel Hayes? Yeah, we'll talk about more college stuff. He wasn't the only coach fired, and we, of course, are celebrating, I guess, the resignation of Ray Anderson, since that's what everybody has seemed to want for quite a few years, is for Ray Anderson to step down and get somebody in there who can get Arizona State University back to its winning ways. So, but no, right now we're talking NFL football. Got to clean up the text line, and we'll start talking about all the games that happened yesterday. Chosen One says, good afternoon, gentlemen. Happy Monday. Full stat of the day. Steelers have been outgained every single game this year. Also, Stafford back this week for LA. Yeah, okay. So we'll put that in a win column for the Rams in a couple of weeks.
No, it'll be easy. Easy.
Kiss the Cook says Cards suck. They even lost in their bye week. I mean, I don't know how you can say that, Kiss.
Well,
the
they
Cook.
haven't taken a bye week yet. They're on the bye week on week 14, and they'll win that week. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Average Joe says the music back from break sucks today. Do better, Keon.
I don't choose it.
It's on a random thing, but why would you care? Why? How is that?
Also, you're not my
needle
boss. I don't. What your opinions on what the music? If I played just Foo Fighters every single time after break, and you did not like it, if it made Jeffrey happy, that is the only person whose opinion I am concerned about. Jeffrey and Randy. You do not employ me, Radio Ron. Do better. What am I supposed to do with that information?
How do you criticize the music back from break? The bumper
it's
music.
So brief,
really?
Too. Why is that bothering you so much? What else is going on in your life right now, Average Joe, that you've decided to lash out about 3 seconds of music?
I mean, what can we do for you, Average Joe, to help you with some bumper music? You a little Frank Sinatra, a little Dean Martin. What can I do for you?
That man needs a drink. That's what that man needs. Navy Brad says, I believe that after this fantasy football week, no team will remain undefeated. I have to go take a look at how Donnie is doing, because Donnie is the last undefeated team. You know what? Why not? Although he has not texted back in since the Brent joke.
Oh, boy. Probably sitting in the corner crying.
I would be.
We've lost another listener.
If you just took one of my all-time greats and threw him into a devastating insult. I mean, ooh.
Oh, Boogie's just put in 189-point hurt on Donnie's team.
Uh-oh.
Donnie still has Josh Allen left to play, but Boogie's got Jay Williams left to play for Denver. And, Boogie's basically flaunting right now. Guess who his kicker is? Fairbarn. The one that's on the IR. That's the one. He left that kicker in there with 0 points. So he's beating Donnie 189.35 to 122.6. Josh Allen could make up the difference. He could, but not likely. Not likely to go. I mean, he's not going to get 60 points. He would need to get 65 points, and the highest he's had all season is 52 points. Generally around the 30 to 35, 39. But yeah. So yeah, it looks pretty good for Boogie to take down the undefeated Donnie in League 5. That's the game of Boogie's life. I don't think he's been scoring that high this entire year. In fact, yeah, Boogie's in 4th place. Not bad. Not bad. All right. Well, there's another reason for Donnie to be grumpy. That's fine by me. Anyway, thank you for the heads up on that, Navy Brad. Stockton Slap says, Rosalie talked me into starting DJ Moore. Fire Rosalie!
Well, wow. The thing is she gave me DJ Moore advice as well.
How did he do? How bad was it?
He was okay. He was all right. He was good for me. I mean,
Well, then what's your problem, Stockton Slap?
It just depends on who else you had that you might feel mad about it. But it's an inexact science.
Fubar 1000 says, Keon, you're my opponent next week. Play Lamar. Beer Bob says, is it too late to put a call in to have stuff on Stephon Diggs kidnapped for tonight's game? I'm trailing Raven Kid by like less than 3 points. He's got Diggs going. I got their kicker. You guys got anyone in Buffalo that can make that happen?
Look, if something happens to Stephon Diggs, I want an investigation immediately.
And we know where to start.
Average Joe says, I needed a little happiness in my life, and you guys made me smile, especially Keon and his absolute passion. Thanks for the drink, Randy. I thought that text was going to go very different. They say, I need a little happiness in my life, and your goddamn music sucks.
Well, I mean, you could always get this music here. I mean,
no. Oh,
that's.
I thought you were doing something else.
Still didn't want that either, to be honest. But
I don't want that. But there's another piece I don't want more.
You could come back from a commercial with that.
No.
I think we'll be okay.
I mean,
no.
I mean, you could come back commercial with this.
That's majestic.
It's the Olympic theme. I mean, you could come back from music with this.
That's
Teabag
good.
Theme.
Yeah, I like that. Kind of now out of season, but
All right,
still
then
good.
You could come back from commercials with this. Little Suns music.
Mm-hmm.
You could,
4026 says, I vote for the sexy time music. You don't have a text or nickname. You don't have a say.
You could come back from music with or from commercial with this.
That's the one. That's the one I was worried you were going to play. Don't play that.
Yeah, it's November 13th. We'll be okay. We don't need a little of any of that.
You know, the rule around here
right
is
this
absolutely 0% Christmas music until the day after Thanksgiving. Period. No exception. No exception. King of Kittens says, hey, Keon, is the 2017 the Lego Batman movie the best Batman movie? What the?
That is so out of left field. I mean, it is a good movie, but I like that last Batman movie they made, The Batman.
Oh, man. 4026 is actually doubling down on Arrowhead of the Class as the nickname.
Okay. Well, roll with it if you really want it.
All right. I feel like we could have done better, but okay. After that last line, that's perfectly fine. 888-368-1580. Trying to get to some damn football here. Berg says, I got 3 quarterbacks and 3 defenses. That's a playoff strategy. Hogging up players. My wife was saying the other day, she's like, oh, I don't want to take that other quarterback. I feel like I'm hogging the quarterbacks. I said, it's not the worst strategy if you got a bunch of good players to keep good players away from other people. But I don't think it's effective.
Then in the event of an injury, you have a really good player.
But 3
is excessive. Why would you need that? But
why does Berg need it? Because he's just being that way.
It's your team.
He says, how about Herm Edwards for the new ASU athletic? I'm not going to finish your text. Waldo says, I think the bumper music's great, boys. Thanks, Waldo. Hefty Lefty says, I'm going to take 2% of the credit. 2% of the credit for the Cards win yesterday. I said Thursday that they were going to win because I picked the Falcons. Currently 0-9 picking Falcons games this year. I picked the Falcons as well.
I took the Cardinals, and that's one of the very small handful of picks I got correct. So I don't even feel good about it.
I take the Cardinals every week. So
do you? Hadn't noticed. Average Joe says, how about a clip of Booger Wolf getting run on Rome? I don't know if we're going to just keep playing that clip. I feel like we just, we played enough of it to where we won't hear from him again in a while.
in a while, yeah.
Arrowhead of the Class says, I'm a man of simple tastes. Yes, I have often thought you are a simpleton. CK says, everybody wants the pina colada. You know what? That can't even be done as a joke because Radio Ron has banned it from the airwaves. And I didn't tell him to do that either, but I am damn glad he did. Stockton Slap says, DJ Moore got me 10 points. I need 9.1 points to win this wins matchup, and it's all at the James Cook tonight. Will he get the W for me? Or should I start Gabe Davis? Can you text Rosalie and ask her? You can text her yourself.
It's called Twitter.
Yeah, at Rosalie Michaels. Just find Fantasy Girl out there and she'll answer your question.
And you
so
can
will
also
the
find, you could, if you want to get a second opinion, just get both of their advice and go, all right, is this something you're on the fence about? Or is it something that they both agree on? If they both agree, well, then you're in pretty good company.
Yeah, she's at Rosalie Michaels, and he is at Scott E. the King on the Twitters. And I'm sure they'd be happy to help you.
He really doesn't mind. I've asked him a couple of things off the air just because he really likes to just give fantasy
He
advice.
does. I asked him a question from my wife back in the past, and he was even like, "Hey, thanks for asking." I was like, "Wow, well, that's cool." Yeah, I'm
That's
like,
because he's the king.
You could charge people for this. Tiger Paws says this will be the 4th time this year that my bench has outscored my starters and lost me the game that way.
Damn. Maybe you should start starting your bench.
Sometimes just trying to figure out who to start and who to bench. It's not the easiest thing, man.
There is a form of like fantasy football called best ball, where you draft the team and then it just takes your highest scores.
Ooh, nice.
And that's kind of cool. I like that.
I know.
I might have won this week.
I might suggest not playing Lamar Jackson.
That's my suggestion too. Navy Brad says Dak got me almost 57 points. Beer Nuts wants to hear the Booger Wolf clip. He says, I heard about it, but I missed it. I don't know if we have it easily ready.
I can get it.
All right. Go ahead and play that if you got it. This is for you, Beer Nuts.
So the whole thing or just the abridged version?
Just the abridged version so you get the gist of it.
All right.
I see here. I thought you had
You
it
call
ready.
me the Booger Wolf. We're just the Wolfly guys out here, but my beef's bad.
Dude, I don't care why they call you Booger Wolf.
I don't like that.
That's known as self-gloss, dude.
Yeah. That didn't go well for Booger Wolf. It was fun. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Moist One says, might have won this week. I did say the word might, didn't I? I mean, I haven't done the math. But yes, it's a 105 to 149 right now, and he still has players. But I also have Cortland Sutton. He's up for some points, maybe 20 or so. But if I had played Jay Warren and if I had played Brandon Cooks, that would have got me close. That would have got me close. I mean, who knows what Williams is going to do tonight or Sutton's going to do tonight. So might. That's why I say might, Moist One. Stockton Slap says it's actually called X now. I don't give a crap what it's called.
It's called X.
He's like 2 seconds away from charging you to have an account, at which point I'll no longer have whatever it's called.
Delete. He says, listen, I don't have that. The only X I have is Crazy, and I got a restraining order against her. Yeah. Why would you play that for an X, Randy? That's an X. You don't have that.
Who said
for an
I
X.
played it? Who said I did?
Everybody knows you're the one who plays that noise.
No, I didn't play that. So
Hefty Lefty wants to know if our friend Russ Bliss is on the Twitter as well. He says, I got to have a tiebreaker. I don't know. I mean, Russ Bliss just sort of wandered off into the desert there. I haven't heard from him in a lot of years.
Multiverse. He's in the multiverse.
So let's talk about our games, shall we? My game was satisfying. It was sad. It was 10-6, which really I can't believe we won a football game with a score that low, 10-6, and I can't believe how bad the Patriots have become. That they bench Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi comes in and, well, he's right on the verge of winning the game. And, well, he just gave us a gift, threw it to one of our guys. And that was the end of that game. It was not a good game. Last week was worth waking up early for. This game made me want to be in a medically induced coma. This was just not a good game. It was not a good game, but it was fun to see the Patriots disintegrating before my eyes.
But you got to win, and the now the drama continues to build behind Bill Belichick on if he's going to stay or if he's going to go.
There's no drama. He is going to go, and I'll tell you, Robert Kraft is going to end up pulling the trigger possibly before the end of the season. And and the reason I didn't think that before, but I think that today, and let me tell you why. Patriots owner Robert Kraft said a thing. He said one sentence, and that told me everything I needed to know. And if you catch it, if you catch the nuance, it'll make sense. He says, I've never been 2-7 in 30 years of owning the team.
So, first off, now he's 2-8. And secondly, that's not we have not been 2-7 in 30 years. No, that's that's very personal to him.
So it tells you that Robert Kraft has really enjoyed the ego boost of having a team that's always been a winning team, or at least a pretty good team. And so for him to say, I've never been 2-7, so he is taking that extremely personally. He has wrapped his entire self-worth and his ego up in the fact that he owns this winning team that right now you can't even imagine. You can't even imagine being 2-7. I've never been 2-7. Well, now I need a new coach. And that is probably what's going to happen, and sooner than you know.
Yeah, I don't know that they're going to fire him mid-season just because there is always the possibility that someone might actually give you picks and trade him or trade for him, at which point, but I do think that he's gone at the end of this year, one way or another.
If I'm Bill Belichick, well, first thing I do is take a shower. But if I'm Bill Belichick,
oh my gosh,
I think that if all of a sudden I hear, hey, Bill, we're trading you to so-and-so for this and that, I'd say, how about this? I quit. How about this? I've got 8 rings. How about this? I already have enough money to live the rest of my life comfortably. I don't need this nonsense. How about this? I'm out of here. That is what I think he'll do.
Well, I think he will too. He's in his 70s, right? I mean, it's not like he's got to prove anything. He's already proven everything you need to prove as a head coach. He's already going to be a first ballot Hall of Fame, head coach, inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It's not like he's got anything left to achieve. I mean, I would hope that Mr. Kraft would wait until the end of the season and would do this respectfully.
Randy, nothing is more important than Bob Kraft's satisfaction.
Oh boy.
Well,
I do.
We are very aware of that now.
I thought that was only in Jupiter, Florida.
Oh boy,
that's where he got caught.
Well, it's a very hands-on city.
Oh boy. So the thing with the Bill Belichick and trying to fire him respectfully is, I can think of a number of players that still had some juice left in the tank that Bill Belichick was like, yeah, but before you're actually on empty, you're out of here. Bill Belichick would have fired Bill Belichick 2 years ago. I mean, that's just the kind of person he is. He's so ruthless with it. And I don't know that Robert Kraft is as ruthless as he is. So I think he's making it to the end of the season.
I would not be surprised if he's gone sooner, though. I would not. If another bad loss, Robert Kraft was really wanting that win in Germany. He really wanted it. He was talking about how he was running into people on the streets, talking about guys who used to play for the Patriots 33 years ago, and how he was like, yeah, this is great. And then they lose, and you see the video of up there, him in the box up there looking like, he's like, I might jump. It was bad. It was bad. If another loss like that, Belichick is going to get sent packing.
Well, I mean, if Robert Kraft were to jump from that suite up there, he would bounce back because he had that puffy jacket on.
Yeah, it was a very puffy jacket.
He would just bounce right back up.
Probably survive the fall and get right back up.
Yeah, full
recovery. Suite above it.
Well, that was a damn bad mistake.
They've got a bye week next, but the next game they have is against the New York Giants, who are awful. If you can't beat them, Bill might not make it out of that building with a job.
He'll be fired in the third quarter.
Oh, yeah,
that's too bad.
So it's got to be that they've got to beat the Giants. That is too bad. Losing to that team is a real good way to get fired on the spot.
Moist one says it'd be about 149 to 143 if you still played Sutton, or you'd be up by 9 if you elected to swap Cooks for Sutton. Moist one, I said might. We don't have to go deep dive into our game right now. You're gonna win. We're just saying might. The word was might. If you want to do the math afterwards, be my guest. Beer Bob says, I got a feeling that they'll mutually part ways at the end of the season. Kraft always does like a happy ending. He just beat everyone else to it.
He really did.
Very, very good for him.
I'm disappointed in us, honestly.
Well, that was great.
Mr. Pringle thinks that the Suns should petition the league to shorten NBA games to 3 quarters.
They win a few that way.
That'd probably help. Hefty Lefty says, didn't Bill get an extension the off season? Yes, but it was only for a year. His contract is only good, I think, 2020.
No, I think you're wrong, Jeffrey. The only one that got an extension in the off season, that was Robert.
All right.
I think he runs around with an extension. That's
well.
why he needs to go to these massage parlors. That's my guess. Wow, we are not getting a very quick start here talking about all the games. So far, we've talked about a total of 2 in the last hour and a half. So when we come back, we'll have to pick up the pace. Luckily, it's because Keon's team lost. We can get through that quick. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Here from Westwood One. Monday Night Football is coming up from Buffalo with the Bills and the Broncos. Sean Payton's Denver team is coming off their bye week and looking for a 3rd straight win. Sean McDermott's Bills need a win to stay above 500. Kevin Harlan and Ross Tucker will call the action on air and on the free live stream sponsored by AutoZone on Monday Night Football.
Right here on 1580 The Fanatic.
O'Reilly. It's See Better, Drive Safer month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Replace your worn-out wiper blades and get up to a $20 O'Reilly gift card after rebate when you purchase a pair of select wiper blades. See store for details. Our professional parts people will even install your new wiper blades for free. Stop by your O'Reilly Auto Parts store or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional grade supplies for every industry, even hard to find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
My daughter is normally a little goofball, but after a bad night's sleep, she's too tired to be anything. That's why I trust Pure Z's Kids. Pure Z's Kids is mindfully formulated just for kids. Their non-habit forming, drug-free products help my daughter fall asleep naturally, giving her the rest to be her best.
I'm a dinosaur.
Best dinosaur.
Pure Z's Kids, for ages 4 and up when needed. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hey, Jeffrey O'Brien here. And listen, a lot of us play fantasy football this time of year, and it's fun. But what you should be playing is fantasy electric bills. What's that? It's where you get with Harman Solar, and they save you over 80% off your electric bill every month. Then, each time you open up that bill, you're going to feel like you just won a championship. Call Harman Solar today. Get a free estimate. 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189, or go to harmansolar.com.
Grand Canyon University basketball is back for another exciting season. After advancing to March Madness in 2 of his 3 seasons as the head coach, Bryce Drew brings a team to the court this season, picked to win the conference once again, and led by first-team All-WAC selection Gabe McLaughlin and WAC preseason Player of the Year Ray Harrison. Check out the schedule at gculopes.com to find matchups with San Francisco, DePaul, Liberty, and last year's national championship runner-up, the San Diego State Aztecs. Join me, Michael Potter, and Lopes insider Paul Coro all season long right here on The Fanatic, the home of Lopes basketball.
Hey, Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Let's go. Let's talk about all the games from Sunday. That's right. We talked about the Cardinals win over the Atlanta Falcons. We talked about the Colts win over the Patriots. And part of me feels good because them cheating bastards, I like to see the disintegration of that team. But the other part, I feel kind of bad. I feel sorry a little bit for Bill Belichick. And I think that it's not fair. Everybody's yelling, see, it was Tom Brady. It was Tom Brady the entire time. No, it wasn't. Bill Belichick is one of the craftiest coaches you've ever seen. He's a very good coach. And he just, he's at the end of what his career should be. It's time for him to hand the reins over to somebody else and let them rebuild that. But So, no, I'm not going to get on board with it was always Tom Brady was just that good. There was a combo deal. They both needed each other to accomplish what they did.
Especially those first 3 Super Bowls. Tom was good in those, but that defense carried the day.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they got there. And then you had a quarterback like Tom Brady who could, in any close game, get you to the finish line, which you have to have. But Bill built those defenses. Bill constructed those rosters, and then he coached those teams. There's no way you get to take that credit away from him.
300 wins. Not many lately, but 300 wins. So enough about Belichick. Let's talk about, who you want your next head coach to be, Keon, because you're sitting there thinking you need a new one. People are texting in quite a bit saying, hey, how about Bill Belichick? You don't want Bill Belichick.
No.
You don't want Bill Belichick. No. But it's coming. It's coming soon. The Seahawks were able to beat you guys 29-26 when it looked like maybe you had that game going, man. What happened?
It's just a real bad defense this year. They weren't able to make the right stops, and there were key moments in that game. The Kenneth Walker 64-yard touchdown that Percy Butler could have made the tackle, missed the tackle. And this is actually the second week in a row that he's given up exactly 64 yards on a tackle he could have made. It just didn't happen. Like the defense, the lack of attention to detail is just everywhere. The lack of discipline is everywhere. They lost to the Bears back on October 5th, and I said I was done with Ron Rivera. And the reason why was the defense wasn't ready to play. And this was just another version of that. Not as bad, obviously, but they made so many key mistakes. They just weren't ready for what the Seahawks were wanting to do. And then, of course, you get to the end of the game, and Ron Rivera doesn't go for two because, he thought they were going to leave Seattle too much time to kick a field goal, even though if you take the extra point and you don't stop them, they will still kick a field goal whether you tie it or not. What is going on? Like, he just goes to press conferences and just says stuff. Like nothing useful or helpful to anybody, just stuff that proves every week that he either doesn't understand situational football or doesn't care. And I don't care to figure out which one is which, honestly. They're not well coached, and that's pretty much it. And it's a waste. It's a waste of what Sam Howell's been doing, man, because he has been lighting things up, and it doesn't matter. If you would have told me Sam Howell would have a game where he threw for 316 yards and 3 touchdowns, and they scored 26 points with the defense we expected.
No interceptions either.
No picks. I don't think he took a ton of sacks. I think he just took 2. But he's getting better with that. It's just they need to be better, and that's coaching. And he got to go, man. He just got to go. That's just where I stand on that.
Maybe he'll be the Patriots' next head coach.
So instead of talking about who needs to go, who would you like to see as head coach of the Commandos?
My first 2 choices would be, one, I think Eric Bieniemy is doing a really good job as the offensive coordinator of this team. And I think he's shown, because he does run the offensive side of the ball. Ron has just let him have that. I think he's shown that side of the ball is the side that is actually well coached, that they're ready to play. They put up points, they're not always consistent, and they're young and they're learning, but they seem ready to go. I also like Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator for the Lions. I think that dude is awesome.
Bieniemy's more likely he's in the building.
Yeah.
And unless they completely clean your house, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's hard to say. I think that Josh Harris, the new owner, is keeping his cards close to his chest, so he's not really letting anybody know what direction he's going.
He's not the owner of the Cards. He's the owner of the Commandos. Yeah.
Yes, but he's keeping the metaphors, the
cards close to his chest.
He does not own. No one was saying that.
It's got nothing to do with the cards.
No one. This is not the card
playing cards.
Playing cards are
no.
not.
He doesn't have anything to do with the Arizona Cardinals. I wish you guys would quit that. Just come up with something else.
It's just all right. Well, he's keeping all of his secrets under lock and key. So that he is not getting to. He's not letting anybody know what direction.
More of a Buccaneer than a Commando.
But he doesn't. No one was saying that he owns that.
Manny, shut your bucking mouth.
So
what?
But yeah, no, I just
bucket.
Okay.
I think he's got to go. I think you've got to find a young, specifically offensive guy. If you're going to build around a young quarterback, I think you've got to try and find one of those.
You get Steichen,
up and coming guys. I'll take him.
Really?
I think Steichen getting 10 points out of Gardner Minshew in that game is a miracle, quite frankly.
I don't know. I'm not convinced. Junk Food Jake says Riverboat Ron might be at the end of his career like Belichick. Definitely not as storied, but he'll always have the 86 Bears.
That's Tugboat Ron. He ceased to be Riverboat Ron about a month and a half ago.
Tugboat.
Yeah.
What?
He's not a riverboat.
Blissful Hayes says, Sam Howell, do I play so well but lose games? Oh, I get it.
Because he
Mr.
doesn't
Pringle
also play
says-
defense.
Anytime Pringle says anything, he's just being mean.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to read that because it's dumb. We
Is
just
he-
talked
is he
about it,
the-
Pringle.
Is he the original Pringles, or is he like the sour cream and onion Pringles, or is he? What kind of Pringles is he, Mr. Pringles?
I think he's all broken inside. You ever get a Pringles can? You open it up and they're all broken
And then
inside.
just shattered. Yeah.
That's Mr. Pringle, I think. So tonight, Stephon Diggs is off the injury report. He will play. So if you got Stephon Diggs, you are good to go, just so you know. Josh Allen, who is set to play tonight, he's going to do it with $10,000 less, $10,927, because he pointed at somebody as he went across the goal line. He
Which
pointed
was
at another
funny
guy.
and cool, and I wish that they would stop doing this.
Yeah.
Just let people play the game and have
Wasn't
fun.
that big a deal? Wasn't
playing
that big
the
a
game.
taunt?
No, and how many times have we seen Tyreek Hill do that? That, he's so far ahead of you, he hits you with the peace sign and then gets into the end zone.
Well, I think he got dinged for that
they,
too.
They
but-
started to enforce that, but why? Why? Like, that's fun. That's actually one of the cool things about watching football still.
So Josh Allen just doing really point things. Randy or I running across the thing, we'd be like, woo, like that.
Oh, yeah. Double flippers.
Do you understand how much I would just be Joel Embiid and the 4 crotch chops
Yes.
just because?
Middle fingers, crotch chops. I'd probably moon somebody and I'd get the Joe Buck. What a disgusting display. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
I got a touchdown.
I'd certainly go double flippers.
Like, do you know how hard it is to score a touchdown in the NFL? A handful of people are actually capable of doing it. Let people have fun.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not like
Good
he's
Lord.
attacking or doing anything really bad. But
And we're not talking about this right now, but the NBA is on this nonsense too, where guys will throw down a dunk and stare at somebody for 2 seconds and get a technical.
Yep.
That's dumb too. It all has to stop.
got ejected the other day for that.
Yeah. And then it
I mean,
happened.
he already had a team. but
Anthony
whatever.
Edwards threw down a dunk last night and got a technical for it. It's just like, come on, man. Like,
Adam Silver's going to stop that. He's got to stop that.
because you'll use it in the promotional videos. You'll use the Josh Allen pointing at a guy as a cool moment in a commercial, but you're going to fine him for it? It's dumb.
So, all right, the rest of the games that we got to talk about from Sunday, 5 teams kicked game-winning field goals, and some teams kicked only field goals as they're scoring. It was ridiculous. The Lions, the Cardinals, the Browns, the Texans, the Seahawks, they all had walk-off field goals to win.
Man, if all of those go the other way, I have a better pick day.
Yeah, I
like
think me too.
a lot of the ones I got wrong were the field goal ones.
I don't know what more you want, Keon. The damn Cardinals won.
That helped.
Prater, by the way, it's funny. My wife, she's like, "Oh, they got to get closer." I says, "Not with Prater, you don't." She's like, "No, he's a too far." I says, "Honey, he's the guy who kicked the longest field goal in NFL history, if I'm not mistaken. 64 yards, right? 65 yards, whatever it was, right?" Prater's fine, even if he is declined, he's still fine. From 54, if he's not doing 64, and he did, he got it, he drilled it, no problem. He is the guy I'm thinking of, right? That is the guy.
He is, but I
Matt
think
Prater.
Justin Tucker actually.
Well, that's right. He did him by a
got
yard.
66 yards. Prater has the 64 yarder.
Mm-hmm.
But Prater is on
different
this
atmospheres.
Prater is on this list multiple times. He's got the 64 yarder with the Broncos. And then a little bit later on in the list, if I can find it, he's tied for 9th with the Cardinals at 62
It was never
yards.
a question if Prater was going to make that
Yeah.
kick, for the Cardinals. So anyway,
Guy's
a
a
lot
cannon.
of damn field goals. That's all I'm trying to tell you right now. A lot of damn field goals this weekend. The Jets.
Very ridiculous. Just
that game was horrible. So I'm a little stunned on the Texans beating the Bengals 30-27. I mean, we know that CJ Stroud, if he's not rookie of the year, he might be MVP. He might be MVP. A rookie might win MVP of the year. He has just turned it on and he is killing it. But wasn't without issues this weekend. He had 3 turnovers, couple of fumbles, and an interception, but still, Stroud, outside of those mistakes, got the job done, and the Bengals did everything they could. But the Texans win. I'm just a little surprised that they have. That's another team, 5 wins. They have 5 wins now. I guess since Stroud has started cranking, it makes sense, but that is not the Texans we thought we had in the first couple of games of the year. So here they are, but I'm not surprised the Texans win a game. I'm kind of surprised at the Bengals for losing that game.
Me too.
At home.
Me too. And it looked like at a certain point they got things rolling, and I was like, okay, the Bengals are going to get back in control here and then win this game. Joe Burrow is going to be his usual steady self. He's going to make plays. Jamar Chase is going to make plays, and they'll ultimately figure this thing out. And their defense isn't bad.
Well, I mean, Joe Burrow, I mean, what else could he do? He threw the ball into his receivers' hands a couple of times, in their hands, and they couldn't make the catch. I mean, hit him in the wrong place.
Who was that?
One of them was...
Wasn't Jamar Chase, was it?
No, it wasn't Jamar Chase. It was... oh, geez.
Well, Boyd was there. Jamar was there, but they were missing a T. Higgins.
Well, it wasn't T. Higgins. It was Boyd, I think. Is he 83? Because I watched part of the game.
Old. Yeah, no, he's number 80.
I think he's like
he's number 83. I didn't know. Okay. All right. Thank you.
It is Tyler Boyd.
But I mean, when you have a quarterback that's hitting you in the hands and you can't convert that to a first down or a touchdown, that's going to kill you every time. And it just kind of quite frankly surprises me that they don't have some receivers on this team. As long as Joe Burrow, I mean, he's shown all sorts of resiliency to be able to be out there when he's hurt. He's laying it all on the line for the team, and he throws it right into their hands, and they can't catch it.
Well, the other problem was a little clock management there. There was a way they could have chewed up some more clock.
Yeah,
but they gave the ball back to the Texans with a minute and a half, and that was all they needed.
Yeah, but I think at that point, Joe Burrows was he was so frustrated at the fact that these guys he lost at least 2 touchdowns, if not more, to receivers that dropped the ball. I mean, and they were it wasn't like it was behind them or way out in front of them. They just didn't catch the damn ball. So
602 Pats fan says, well, fellas, I don't know what the hell was that, but congrats on the win, Jeffrey. On to the next season. Let's go Pats. Yeah, man, I tell you what, I like my opponents healthy. I like my opponents ready to fight. And your Patriots, my Colts, neither team was ready for anything that would have been good football. So, yeah, we'll see you next year, and hopefully both our teams will be in a better position to make it a battle and not just a meh. Junk Food Jake says, Dan Quinn should be a head coach. He's the only guy holding them Cowboys together. Yeah, he had a turn at coach, and he didn't.
I didn't do well. The Dan Quinn Atlanta experience, I was there for that one, and they went to the Super Bowl, and then it just sort of all fell apart afterwards. They just couldn't get anything right at all.
Yeah, it melted in the second half of that game.
Yeah,
and then the rest of his coaching tenure.
Yep. Yeah. Hefty Lefty says, is Stroud already the best NFL quarterback to come from Ohio State?
I mean, the short answer is yeah. I mean, and I'm glad that he is, so that narrative can just go away. Like, players are not good or bad based on what school they went to. That's just it doesn't mean anything.
Just another face in the crowd says, if Joe Buck ever mentions a horrible play, he's probably talking about his hair implants.
They're pretty bad.
Admittedly, he has many of them. He has had many of them.
He'll be the first one to tell you.
Needs a little more fertilizer.
Especially
Poor
up front.
Guy.
Yeah.
Poor guy. CK says, I told you guys Texans will win at least 6. DeMeco Ryans an excellent coach and leader. Stroud's rapid development is surprising. I got to tell you, I love DeMeco Ryan. I love the way he does what he does. And you know what? It's proving the Texans have been improved in the coaching department and in the quarterback department. And now they just got to keep rounding out that team and make it better. I hate that they're good. They're in my damn division.
Couple of key players, and I think Houston will be a team to deal with for the next several years, next decade or so.
I hate that. CJ Stroud, it looks like he's going to mess with Andrew Luck's record for passing yards by a rookie. They're saying he's actually on pace to break that. He has 2,625 passing yards, which means if he continues at this rate, he'll have 4,958 in a 17-game season. And then, of course, that would just nuke Andrew Luck's 4,374 yards. But that was not in a 17-game season. You know, that was a shorter season. So I guess, I don't know, how do you just average out the math on that to give him that? I don't know.
I don't know if they're going to average it. I think that what they've been doing with some of the records that have fallen already is, hey, you've got the bigger total. That's what it is.
I know we're late for a break, but one last note on the Texans. That last second win, I guess there was a guy out there who had a parlay. That's right. He had $500,000 down on a 4-leg parlay. Here's what it had to happen. Texans had to beat the Bengals. Texans had to go over 44.5 points. The game had to go over 44.5. Texas running back Devin Singletary had to score a touchdown, and Singletary had to go over 51.5 rushing yards. And all 4 of those happened the minute that field goal went through. And you know how much he made? $5.5 million.
Oh my God. Wow.
In the sports book where he put the bet, they had been closed down for a couple of years because of some issues they had. They had just opened. I wonder if they're going to have to close down again.
Closing.
They're like, we didn't see this coming. Nobody saw this coming.
All right, you guys are going to have to leave. We're out of money again.
I just could not. I wouldn't have put $10 on that.
Hard Rock Sportsbook has probably got a hit out on Matt Amendola right now. Just saying.
Matt, I wouldn't leave my house if I were you.
We got to take this break. When we come back, we got the rest of the games in order of appearance on our Harmon Solar NFL Fan Pick'em sheet. That's what we do. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Oh, I love this restaurant. Glad we got a table quickly. What does that sign say? Caution, wet floor? No, right next to it. If you are 60 or older, you may be at increased risk of serious consequences from RSV, respiratory syncytial virus, compared to adults younger than 60. I didn't know that.
Not all dangers come with warning labels. Talk to your pharmacist or doctor about getting vaccinated against RSV today. RSV vaccines, including Pfizer's, are available. Learn more at bewareofrsv.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Hi, folks. Robert Quigley here, America's Independent, Washington, D.C. We're on the road to the White House. 4 out of 10 voters that I meet on the campaign trail pledge their vote to me in 2024. Team America are the true centrists in the 2024 election. We are rolling out a national ad campaign and talk show. We need mom and pop donors. We need sponsors. Our goal is to inform with facts, lead with solid, indisputable analysis and evidence. Truth and common sense will make America safe and strong for everybody. We need millions. This is a call to arms. The status quo is our enemy. Go to robertquigleyforpresident.com. Donate what you can, either big or small. Join Team America. Together, we will make America work for all of us.
Paid for and approved by the Robert Quigley for President campaign.
Hey everybody, it's Mark Asher back to tell you about my great friends over at the Lund Mortgage Team. For years, I've been telling you about refinancing, new home loans, all the great stuff that the Lund Mortgage Team can help you with from start to finish. Now, things have gotten a little crazy, right? The rates were bouncing all over the place. Now they're officially higher than they've been in a long time. And now more than ever, I think it's important to have a mortgage professional that has been there, done that. Any Yahoo can sell you a mortgage when it's 2.75%. Those people are going away. The real professionals are the ones that are staying in business and helping their clients through this kind of tough time out there as far as mortgage rates are concerned. Those people are the Lund Mortgage Team. Matt Oliver, Lisa Lund, they've owned this team for a long time, over 2 decades in the Valley. They are the best in the business, and they will walk you through the process, whether it's refinancing now or probably more importantly, a new home loan. Let them do all the heavy lifting for you. Call today, 623-875-9940. That's 623-875-9940. or online, lundmortgage.com.
Jim Gaffigan here with some more Straight Talk. Let's take a moment to appreciate our sweet children, loving grandparents, and eternal soulmates. Now let's use them to save money on wireless. Because with the Straight Talk Silver Plan, you get 4 lines for just $25 a month with unlimited data and no contract. So add those human pawns, loved ones, and save money. Thanks, kids. They're finally worth it. Straight Talk Wireless, available at Walmart.
Get 4 lines on Silver Unlimited for $25 per line per month, plus taxes and fees. For data management practices and additional terms, visit straighttalk.com.
1580 The Fanatic. And at 1580thefanatic.com. Your home for sports.
Hey, Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Megatron added a little bit of information to that guy who won $5.5 million off that $500,000 parlay on the Texans. He says, same better, lost $1.5 million on Saturday. He's still up by $4 million, though. I'll give him that. That's a good point. But yeah, he's probably gambling in a different tax bracket.
Yeah. You think?
Michael Jordan, white courtesy phone. Michael Jordan, white courtesy phone. Hefty Lefty says, which game was worse to watch as a neutral party? Colts Patriots from yesterday or Colts Broncos from last year?
As a neutral party?
Because I had to wake up for Colts Patriots, I'm going to say that one.
As a neutral party, Dallas, New York Giants.
Colts Broncos last year was pretty bad. Blissful Hayes says Kyler Murray would thrive in a shortened season.
Oh, boy.
Moving on.
Oh, boy.
So let's talk about the Vikings and the Saints. That was just ugly. That was just an ugly game, wasn't it? I just thought I was going to enjoy that game, and then I didn't enjoy that game. And then it got interesting. The reason we were like, oh, let's watch this a little bit was Josh Dobbs. What a story. What a story. Nobody expected this. And of course, now you look at the Cardinals differently. Now you see Josh Dobbs lands in Minnesota and immediately starts winning and immediately figures stuff out and is immediately like the man. They love him in Minnesota now. But there's a little part of that did help that you might not realize. That Josh Dobbs it would have his off-season workouts, and he just happened to, over the last couple of years, have them with TJ Hawkinson. It's not the first time he's been throwing to TJ Hawkinson. Okay. They would have off season workouts, and they go out there and throw, and the guy was like, yeah, he was just, if he was out there throwing, we were out, or he wanted somebody out there, we were doing it. So that little tidbit of information explains a lot. It explains why TJ Hawkinson had like a career day on Sunday. He was killing it. And, that's why Dobbs feels so comfortable with him here. There's a trust there. Maybe. But regardless of that little advantage, Josh Dobbs was out there running in touchdowns and throwing touchdowns, and makes you wonder. Well, it doesn't. It really doesn't. I'm not going to finish the sentence. I was going to say, it makes you wonder what the Cardinals were doing wrong, that they couldn't get the best out of Josh Dobbs. There was just no best for him to get back to. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't think any of us knows exactly what the Cardinals, what kind of clamps the Cardinals had on Josh Dobbs as far as the quarterback, and what kind of clamps the Vikings have on Josh Dobbs. So they need a guy in Minnesota to come in and run this team until the end of the season. And I fully believe unless they go to the playoffs and win significantly in the playoffs, Kirk Cousins is coming back and is going to be the starting quarterback Minnesota Vikings.
Do you think they stick with Dobbs?
Unless if they stick with Dobbs, it'll be because the Vikings suddenly turn it around and win excessively down the stretch here.
Well, they're 6-4 right now,
and they go into the to the playoffs, and they go deep into the playoffs. Then I could see them retaining Joshua Dobbs as their quarterback.
And it's not. Look, and the many Vikings fans that listen to this show brought this up before. Schedule's just not that tough for the Vikings right now. Next game is at Denver. In Denver, that's a very winnable game for them. The next game after that is at home versus Chicago, and then they get the bye week, and then they get the Raiders coming right off of the bye. So the next 3 games those could all be W's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, they still have to win them.
I mean, of course, but it doesn't seem to be that's the problem at the moment.
So Josh Dobbs, if he keeps going and, you get to the off season, there are probably going to be teams looking to get them some Josh Dobbs.
Absolutely.
So good for him. He seems like such a nice kid, doesn't he? He seems like one of the good guys. He's a smart kid, but he's also just a good kid. So
great sense of humor.
Yeah. TJ Hawkinson is thanking his lucky stars the same way tight end McBride is thanking his lucky stars that Kyler is back. It just worked out really well for him. Well, of course, he had been doing well with Dobbs as well. All right, let's go to the next game. The Steelers are now 6-3, and I just shake my head every time I say that out loud because just doesn't look like a team that's 6-3.
Well,
you don't see play on the field like a team that is 6-3. It's hard to wrap my brain around.
Maybe not their offense. Maybe it's not the offense they've had, but they've got quite the defense. And kudos to Mike Tomlinson. I mean, he's amazing. He's an amazing head coach, and I've said it before. I think these guys would run through a flaming wall for Mike Tomlinson.
Sure,
but
well, Keon, do you think that the Steelers are only missing a quarterback?
No, I don't even know if they're necessarily the quarterback they have is the wrong quarterback.
He's the wrong quarterback. He was 14 of 23, 126 yards, no touchdowns.
I understand what you're saying, but scheme matters to that. And the offensive coordinator is the worst offensive coordinator in football. I will not be hearing any arguments about this. Matt Canada sucks. Every time I know the Steelers are about to win a game, when they roll into the fourth quarter and they need Kenny Pickett to do something and they get away from play calling from the sideline and they let him run stuff in that hurry up offense, all of a sudden Kenny Pickett looks like a quarterback that can play football in the National Football League. I'm not saying that necessarily proves he's the guy, but when Kenny Pickett calls the plays seem to go a whole lot better.
So why don't they just fire Canada already?
They're not that organization. They just Mike Tomlin he's not a knee-jerk reaction guy. And so even though it seems clear and obvious to everyone else, Matt Canada's not the person that should be calling plays for this team. They're patient over there. So maybe the problem is that he's up in the booth and he needs to be down on the sideline. Well, now he's down on the sideline. Has it gotten any better? Well, they've won, but I don't think that's been the reason why. They find ways to win on both sides of the ball, and then Kenny Pickett doesn't really make a ton of mistakes. So even though he's not giving you the upside of throwing touchdown passes and getting you those big chunk yards you'd rather have, he doesn't make the mistakes that kill you. And then TJ Watt can go out there and make some plays that'll keep you in a game as well.
Well, you can't keep winning games with just a couple of field goals. So you got to get rid of Canada, but you also got to get a better quarterback than Kenny Pickett, and some wide receivers might help as well. 888-368-1580.
That's the thing is if you're gonna acknowledge that the offensive coordinator stinks and the wide receivers suck, maybe fix those things before you give up on your quarterback.
Kenny Pickett is a backup quarterback.
He might be. I'm not going to sit here and say that I know that, though. When I see everything around you is bad, I don't think that gives me my best evaluation of you.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we'll see. I mean, that's up to them, I guess. I don't care about the Steelers all that much.
That's their call. Yeah.
Cousins is a free agent, says Megatron, and just another face in the crowd says, whatever you think about Josh Dobbs, he's one tough nut because he was thrown in the Cardinals lineup and actually survived. Yeah, say what you will about Josh Dobbs, but clearly that's a guy that'll give you the hair off his head. Good
boy.
Man. He's a good man.
Boy.
Wow.
He's behind a better offensive line.
Wow.
He's thrown to a great security blanket in TJ Hawkinson. His own mobility helps a lot of things going on there. And then Jordan Addison's pretty nice target to throw to too. It's just they've just got I think a more complete roster than the Cardinals.
I think if the Cardinals didn't pay Kyler Murray $250 million in money, they would have kept Josh Dobbs. He would have been starting quarterback.
They already had Josh Dobbs. They could have kept him.
And Kyler would have had to win his way back in. But because they paid Kyler $250 million, they were Josh Dobbs was expendable to the Cardinals.
I think they could have kept him. They could have kept him as a backup.
Well,
I don't know why
they could have kept him, but I'm just saying I think he was expendable because they knew that Kyler was coming back, and they're paying this guy $250 million, so they're going to get their money's worth out of him.
When a guy comes back from an injury like that, I'm not so confident that he's going to make it to the end of the season. So I'd have kept Josh Dobbs, but what do I know? The Buccaneers, they have been losing and losing and losing and losing. Oh my God, they won. They got the Titans 20-6. It's a game I just don't care about. Is there anything about this game that I need to care about?
Well, no, you don't need to care about it. But my only comment on this is that Tennessee needs to figure something out because they're either good or they're not good.
And in this particular case, they couldn't run the football. That was a big problem.
How do you not run the football with
Derrick Henry? Because they were behind. But look, you got to pump the brakes on Will Levis. That's all I'm saying. That's the only thing I learned from this game is he's human. So he's going to have – I'm not ready to crown him great quarterback just yet because he's played 3 games.
Yeah, this was just
and this was his bad one.
Meh kind of game right there. Listen, we've still got a lot of games to talk about. Now we only have 1/2 hour to do it in. Yeah, historian says NFL no fun league. Don't know why you're saying that out of nowhere, but okay.
Celebration stuff.
Chosen One says, hey, Corbin Carroll was voted Rookie of the Year. Thumbs up on that. All right, guys, we'll be right back. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
If you're rolling over your 401k to an IRA soon, but not sure if you want to go all in on this crazy market, here's what many retiring professionals are doing. How about a safe and secure IRA offering a contractually guaranteed 10% income bonus that grows 7% annually guaranteed? Your income can double in 10 years. Meanwhile, neither your principal nor your retirement income is ever subjected to a market downturn. Even if the market crashes by 50%, you get the 10% bonus. Your income keeps growing at 7%, and your principal may grow without losses uncapped. You go up with the index, never down, forward, never back. Get a 10% income bonus with a 7% contractually guaranteed growth rate. I compare over 1,200 annuities with a fiduciary duty and can help you retire and stay retired.
Guarantees rely on the financial strength of the insurer, so compare with leading annuity authority Steve Jurich now. Visit IQannuity.com, IQannuity.com, IQannuity.com.
Hey everybody, Mark Asher back to tell you about my great friends over at the Lund Mortgage Team. You know, the Lund Mortgage Team has been doing their thing for over 2 decades in the Valley, helping thousands of people in Arizona save money on their loans, get the best rate. They're mortgage brokers. They can shop it around for you. And now more than ever, it is so important to have a mortgage professional that's been around, that's seen the high rates, low rates, everything in between, because look, there's no sugarcoating what's going on right now. The rates are higher. However, the supply and demand, the whole how many houses are for sale in Arizona and what's going on, it's gone in favor of the buyer now. So if you're going to buy a new home, it is important to go and get that rate. Whatever that rate is, it's not going to be your forever rate. That's important to think about. So lock it in, get the house of your dreams, and move on. But let the people at the Lund Mortgage Team do their job. All the heavy lifting from start to finish. They'll find you the best rate out there. Call 623-875-9940, 623-875-9940, or online, lundmortgage.com.
As we plan for our retirement, there are 4 questions we need to ask ourselves or our retirement planning advisor. How much? How long? How safe? And what cost? Let's start with how much. That is, how much income we think we'll need each and every year for the rest of our lives, including all the activities we want to enjoy during our retirement, like travel, recreation, and entertainment. Plus the cost of housing, including repair and maintenance, taxes, insurance, and utilities, as well as the cost of healthcare, including expenses not covered by Medicare.
Enjoy safe, secure lifetime income of 5 to 9% for life, depending on age and deferral period, with no fee deductions and no annuitizing. Guarantees rely on the financial strength of the insurer, so let's compare free in Scottsdale. For more, visit IQannuity.com, IQannuity.com, IQannuity.com.
KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM.
And K24EU Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third hour. Quiet, people, settle down. Because it's time. Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 5 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580. Broadcasting live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. Trying to get all the games from Sunday talked about. I got a pretty thick stack right here, so I think we should get right to it, shall we? 49ers got themselves a win. It was a close one, 34-3. What happened to the Jaguars? I thought the Jaguars were supposed to be good.
Man, the San Francisco 49ers coming off a bye week. They were all rested. They had all their players back in the starting lineup. Jacksonville really needs to check themselves because I think they really felt like they were a playoff contender, and they just got worked by San Francisco. San Francisco, to me, is the cream of the crop in the National Football League right now.
Keep in mind, now I'm a Joe Burrow fan, all right, and to the from the criticism of others, I've even been a Joe Burrow fan, but they did come off a losing streak, and the Jaguars now have the exact same record as the San Francisco 49ers. The thing is, they got their ever-loving asses kicked. 34-3 just wasn't even funny. I mean, sure, Nick Bosa is going to get his. Sure, Hargrave's going to get his. Sure, even Chase Young is going to get his. But here's the thing: 34-3, 34-3. What the hell broke down for the Jaguars? Because I thought, didn't they have a decent defense at some point?
They did, and the thing is, they really have. Even though they've been a good defense, they haven't given up a ton of points. They've struggled to get pressure on opposing quarterbacks.
And they just gave up a ton of points yesterday.
Well, yeah, I mean, throughout the season, not just the yesterday. But so, like, overall, they're a pretty good defense. But I think you have to get pressure on Brock Purdy if you want him to make the kinds of mistakes that you need any young quarterback to make. I think to be in a game like that. And like Randy said, they got all of their injured players back, which includes the left tackle, Trent Williams. So that already makes your job a little bit harder when your only real pressure guy on your defense is Josh Allen. And so Josh Allen gets taken care of by Trent Williams, and there just isn't anybody else on that defense that's really capable of getting pressure on Brock Purdy, who now has Deebo Samuel to deliver the football to, in addition to all the other weapons that he had the entire time.
Ayuk,
Ayuk, Kittle, I mean, CMC, the list continues with them. And because they can beat you in so many different ways, I think the way to get to the Niners is to get to Brock Purdy and beat him up as often as you can. And the Jaguars weren't able to do that.
Well, and this was also a game where San Francisco seems to be, kind of at the end of the game, they were kind of like a ho-hum. But is the game almost over? Because the dark helmet kept feeding Christian McCaffrey, trying to get him the record towards the end of the game. And it didn't work, but he was, they were laughing about it. They thought that was funny. They weren't even at the end of the game. They weren't even competing. I mean, they had Jacksonville in a box and they were up 34-3.
Yeah. And it's a shame Christian McCaffrey couldn't get that. I mean, even at the end, he jokingly was like, "Oh, you suck." Yeah. They tried to get me the ball. He was like, "But whatever. Everybody scored except for me." But yeah, 17 games in a row with a touchdown ain't too bad, kid. So
yeah, look, it's a good streak, but they all come to an end. I also think the Jaguars' offense was just horrific. They simply were not able to get clicking in any way. Trevor Lawrence would throw a good pass, it wouldn't get caught. Trevor Lawrence also threw 2 interceptions and fumbled 1. So he was responsible for 3 of the 4 turnovers on the day. Yeah. They had, and that was, by the way, in 5 possessions, it was, let me see if I can find it here, that it was fumble, field goal, interception, fumble, other interception. That was 5 possessions in a row for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Like, they just weren't capable of getting out of their own way.
More credit to San Francisco's defense, or more credit to Jacksonville sucking at offense? Yes,
I would give San Francisco's defense.
I'd give credit to the defense as well, but they were so out of sync that it didn't help anything. I mean, that offensive line, that was like the worst pressure rate in the league, the amount of pressure they gave up to the Niners. Just yesterday, they were in a league all of their own in terms of not protecting their quarterback.
Well, I've been convinced that Jacksonville is a good team. I've been convinced that Jacksonville is a playoff team. I have been convinced all of these things by people named Keon, Randy White, and other people as well. And I am convinced that the Jacksonville Jaguars are a good team. Now, they'll get right against the Titans next week. That's probably not going to be any problem, but they're going to have to get right. They're going to have to fix the stuff that went wrong against the 49ers, or it's going to be a very short run in the playoffs. I still think that they're a playoff team, though, but not a bad, it's just everybody has a bad day, man. They had 5 wins in a row, and some of the teams were good teams. So I'm not going to say, okay, that's it. It's over for Jacksonville.
I'm in the same camp as you. I think that if you have a bad day against the Niners defense, it's going to look worse than what actually happened. And I think that their offensive line they didn't look like they were in sync. And you can't make those kinds of mistakes against a defense like this. They will kill you.
So let's move on to a better game, Browns and Ravens. I really was disappointed. Glad to see Deshaun Watson needs an MRI. But outside of that, what happened there? I mean, the Ravens defense, it just seemed like nobody's defense was doing much defensing. It's 33-31. And yes, the Browns had to come from behind. It just, I was disappointed.
Yeah, the Ravens were defensing for a half, so
everybody was defensing. And then nobody was defensing. Nobody defense, then everybody defense.
Yeah, look, the Ravens have some struggles too. The late games for them. This is the second game I've watched the whole way through with them, where they've played a pretty solid game, and at the very end, they couldn't finish the game. They couldn't make the plays they needed to make to either get the lead or hold on to the lead. And some of that does go back to Lamar, because I thought he was playing a relatively clean game for a lot of that, but the mistakes that he made were costly. And I do think that, Deshaun Watson has figured out enough that second half of football was the best half of football he's played since they signed him. And that you can't make certain mistakes like that and then have an offense that's actually functioning. Like with Deshaun Watson, it was functioning in the second half, and it killed him.
Lamar Jackson is playing in another offensive scheme, which does not work for Lamar Jackson. They're trying to make him again a pocket passer. And if they would just leave Lamar alone and let him do the Lamar things that he does, okay, he might get injured. He might get banged up during the season because he runs the ball a lot, but they keep trying to put him in a box. Meanwhile, the defense for the Cleveland Browns are able to catch up with Baltimore when Baltimore cannot convert when they need to convert. Baltimore is having a problem moving the football down the field, and you're not seeing this dynamic play out of the Ravens. So Cleveland just had a field day with their defense. They went in there, they stopped Baltimore when it was critical, and guess what? Deshaun Watson did just enough to win this game, and it wasn't even Deshaun Watson. I mean, they had to kick the field goal, and they win the game. Cleveland wins. I wish they would quit messing with Lamar Jackson and let him be Lamar Jackson.
Where have I heard that before? Are you saying let Lamar cook?
I mean,
that's what you're sounding like.
I mean, I don't know
degree,
if I'm saying that.
But to be fair, to say that this is like not the optimal version of the Baltimore Ravens and they're still 7-3, I just don't know how much complaining.
I can complain a lot. I mean, you think about what they would be
believe me,
if
Randy
Lamar.
can complain a lot.
Well, you trust me, I could complain a lot, and if they would just let Lamar do Lamar things.
But I think that they're trying to transition him into being a pocket passer. I don't think that takes away his ability to run the football. He was the leading rusher yesterday, so it's not
he's so confused now. He doesn't know when to run, when to stay. He just doesn't know.
I mean, I don't think that necessarily helps, but I do think that for him, it's not that he doesn't know. I think that he himself wants to be a better passer at the position. And ultimately, if you want Lamar Jackson to be your long-term solution at quarterback, which they clearly do, he is going to have to run less. And the numbers that he's putting up right now, they tell the story of a guy that can play, but you just get to the fourth quarter and something happens with the Ravens where they don't know how to close out games. It happened in
when
the Steelers
the
game
chips are
too.
down, that's when the leader of the team needs to take over. When the chips are down, you've got to have Lamar Jackson step up, and he's got to take this team on his back and carry him to victory. And he's not doing that this year.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's the fourth quarter, though, I think is where it's all fallen apart for him,
You're
if
right.
you ask me.
You're right.
So now on the Lions, who are 7-2, and the Chargers, who are fire Brandon Staley. Okay. You think they will? I mean, we were wondering about Bill Belichick. I think. You think they'll fire Brandon Staley now, or is it going to be at the end of the year?
I mean, I think it'll be the end of the year, and I think if they don't make the playoffs and they don't go very far, that's it for Brandon Staley and the Brandon Staley experience in Los Angeles Chargers. I think they'll move on. But, kudos to Detroit. And I said this 2 seasons ago. When what's his name? He showed up there, and you guys were all making fun of him, biting kneecaps. And
it was pretty damn
bringing guys down and tackling. Listen, he's done a great job. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for Boogie, and I'm happy for Detroit Lion fans everywhere. And they deserve it. They played a great game. And by the way, Jared Goff, some of those passes he made, they were absolutely a work of art. It was just beautiful the way he laid the ball in to the receivers, and he's not panicking. They've got a good defense. They've got a good offensive line. Let's go Lions.
So their 2 losses came from Birds. They lost to the Seahawks 37-31 in overtime.
Yeah.
And they lost to the Ravens 38-6. And the rest of the way, though, they've beaten everybody. But as I look at all the everybody's that they have beaten, it hasn't been that tough a schedule. So I'm looking at a 7-2 Lions. Yay. But I don't know how legit that 7-2 is. I mean, yes, they did beat the Chiefs. So where was that preseason? September 7th.
No, that was the first game.
The first game of the season.
Game 1.
Yeah.
So they beat the Chiefs by a point. Outside of that, I don't see any teams that they beat that I'm going to really say this is a Super Bowl team.
They haven't beaten a lot of great teams, but
No.
I will give them credit for the teams that they have beaten. It hasn't been particularly close either. They didn't let bad teams hang around with them. You know, like what the Chiefs do every year in the first half of the season, where you're like, are you guys good? Because I can't tell, because really bad teams
They're not good.
are hanging out with you. The Lions are like, look, screw that. If you're bad, we're bearing you. At least they have that mentality. And if they catch somebody slipping in the playoffs, they're not going to hesitate to just drop a bunch of points on your head and keep moving.
I'm not saying this just to annoy Boogie either. I'm serious.
No, it's a legitimate question.
You got beat bad by the Ravens, and you lost an overtime game to the Seahawks. Those are the 2 best teams you played, and you lost to them outside of the Chiefs.
With similar totals in terms of points given up too.
Yeah. So I'm not going to say this is a Super Bowl team, but I think they're a playoff team that can be easily handled in the playoffs. We shall see.
Yeah, I think the problem that the Lions have a lot, if you just look at some of these too, is they've put up enough points if you take away the Ravens game in most of these games to just outright win. But their defense, especially their secondary, the secondary is a big problem for them.
I like Brandon Staley for the Chargers saying, I accept the blame. Like, yeah, we know, man.
Yeah,
we know.
Chargers fans are like, yeah, that's not shocking.
That's good. Thank you. No need. You're wasting time.
In other news, water, wet.
T-Licious says, almost predicted Ralph's long weekend again. Niners won. ASU won. So that makes up for stupid Seattle winning. Niners are back, and it's on like Donkey Kong. All right. Don't pump them brakes just a tad. You just came off a streak of losing, so don't get too cocky, kid. Chief Skull says, hey, how about them Vikings? Yeah, we're pulling for that, Josh Dobbs. Congratulations on that. And Blissful Hayes, we agree. Congratulations to Corbin Carroll for Rookie of the Year in the National League. He deserved it, absolutely 100%. Kyle G says, first game of the season is going to be the last one, too. Lions, Chiefs, Super Bowl.
Look, believe in your team, man. That's
Kyle.
fine.
No,
I don't agree, but you got to believe in your guys.
Killer Rabbit says, yeah, Broncos beat the Chiefs too. Yeah, see. All right, we're running out of time here, so let's talk about the Cowboys doing it again to the Giants. Listen, hey, Dable, you see him screaming on the sidelines, and later he's all, "It's just normal stuff during the game." No, this is a man who is seeing his job evaporate before his eyes. This is a guy who is like, "Well, Dable did a lot better than we thought. All right." And this year they're like, "Oh, dear God, Dable. Dear
But
God."
I don't. How can you blame him, especially for this one? Like,
What do you mean? How can you blame him? He's the coach.
He's the coach, but this team sucks. They're a bad team. It's a bad roster.
Well,
they
I mean,
started.
You can't
Tommy
win with
DeVito.
Danny DeVito. Who can you win with?
Nobody can win with Danny. Wow.
They paid the wrong guy. Clearly, they should have played. I think we all agree.
Yes.
Saquon Barkley,
100%.
And now their starting quarterback, quote unquote, their savior is on the sideline. He's not going to play this year. They've got a backup running back. They have no defense. They have no offense except for Saquon Barkley. So, I mean, what does anybody who's a Giants fan expect to happen? And Dallas, I'm so sick and tired of hearing the TV people talk about how great Dallas is. It was the Giants, for God's sakes. At 49-17, you should be ashamed they scored 17 points on you.
Yeah, the love of the Cowboys is like the love of the Lakers. It's just that same stupidity.
They gave up 30 points 2 weeks ago to the Raiders. The Giants did. They're not a good team on any side of the ball. They've got maybe 2 good football players on that team. I don't understand how we're supposed to draw anything about the Dallas Cowboys from them beating this squad.
I like that Tommy DeVito guy, Danny DeVito. There's a headline that's not going to surprise you if you've seen him play.
You've seen his face.
Yeah. Headline is Tommy DeVito is living with his parents and he likes it.
Do you have the quote that he gave?
Yeah.
About-
He says, "I don't have to worry about laundry, what I'm eating for dinner, chicken cutlets and all that waiting for me when I get there. Mom still makes my bed. Everything is handled for me. Honestly, I don't even know if I could find a place closer to here where I live. It takes me 12 minutes to get here." This is a no-brainer for me. Everything I need is there at the house. The decision was made since this level of football is stressful for a rookie, especially at the quarterback position. A lot going on, lots of meetings. So everything outside of football is handled by my family.
Look, I understand some version of that. You could not have gotten me to admit to the world that my mom still makes my bed. There's just no way. I would never.
Meatloaf now.
But Mom!
Swave Dave says DeVito, no completo.
Oh my God. You don't say stuff like that. I don't do my own laundry. I don't make my own bed. I don't cook my own food. My mom does all of it. You can't say that out loud. You live in New York. Are there not women you want to meet? Why are you saying this to the world? What is wrong with you?
General thought process for most of Gen Z. A lot of kids of our kids, would love to live at home. Of course, being from Gen X, no. We, at least Randy and I, we have taught our kids in such a way that they know better, but and they want more for themselves. My kids don't even think about it. I would say actually encourage them. Listen, if you're going to college or something, you should come here. It's free rent, free food, and just get your schooling, and then you go out and get yourself a place after you've got some money to make.
And there you go.
There was
but the thought process of this generation now is, I think I'll live the home for like 10, 15 years. It just seems like a good idea.
I had to move back home when I was in college, save some money and get my grades up too. I had a whole thing in college. It was not good.
Sure.
But I was embarrassed to have to go back home. Like my plan was, I got to get out of here as fast as humanly possible. I can't stay here.
It's a place to help get your start. That's what, being a child is, like a bird in the nest, You get kicked out of the nest to help you get your start too, to start flying. But, for us human beings, it's a place so the kids can come back and after a bad breakup or after, trying to get things right in college, like you, Keon, or whatever, all that stuff is good. But for Tommy DeVito, he's like, that's where the chicken cutlets are.
It's like, no,
that's where food is. My mom makes my bed. My mom makes my bed.
You can't.
Would your mom have ever made your bed, Randy? My mom would never make my bed. She'd whoop my ass at the age of 30 if I didn't make the bed.
You make your own damn bed.
Of course, as a grown-up, I don't make my bed. My wife makes the bed. If the bed's getting made, it's generally not me unless I'm trying to impress her.
I'm not saying that I make my bed. No one makes my bed. I go back home to my unmade bed and I crawl back under the same blanket that I left.
It just makes sense. Why would you make the bed? Because it's already the way you had it. Just get right back in.
It's just I'm going to do something for 8 hours called sleeping. That's just going to mess the whole thing up anyway. Why would I make it?
My wife, being of the female persuasion and also former military, the bed is made every day.
But if my mom wanted to make my bed, I'm making the bed. I can't let her do that. I just can't. I have too much respect. I just can't do that. I can't compute him saying that. Oh, the chicken cutlets. It's like, man, you sound like you're 12. You sound like the plot of the movie Big, except you're a football player.
Tommy DeVito is 10. Actually, he's the 10th different rookie starting quarterback this season, and that broke the NFL record. Of course, after this weekend, we'll see if he gets that start again.
I mean,
I guess they have no choice, do they?
I hope they do it one more week.
Matt Barkley, he's waiting.
Got the Commanders next week. I think we'd like to see Tommy DeVito too.
Pinisher says, I'm going to just pencil in the Giants for losing the rest of the season and weekly picks. And except maybe against the Commandos. Signed, Captain Obvious. Well, that was just sort of mean.
Boy.
Killer Rabbit says Tommy DeVito and Mom making his bed was worse than Tom Brady getting a massage and open mouth kissing his son. Was it worse?
I don't know that that's worse. Yeah. I just wouldn't. You couldn't have waterboarded that information out of me that Tommy DeVito willingly told the world.
So you live with your mom? No. That's how I'd answer that.
That's just.
All right, Randy, put him on the board.
I guess the cook wants you to know the McRib is back. Yeah, I could never get it.
It's not food, so I don't understand what I'm supposed to do with that information. You can eat it, but
we got one more game to talk about before 5:30. One more game to talk about. We'll talk about what happened on Sunday Night Football before we break away for Monday Night Football of the Broncos and Bills. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
We have to.
Hey, Doc, nice office. Quick question. If you had to choose, would you give yourself a root canal or run payroll?
Run payroll, no question.
Seriously? Have you run payroll before?
Paying my team with Gusto couldn't be easier. Gusto gives me unlimited payroll runs, next day direct deposits, and automatically files my taxes. Saves me time.
Wow, that's nice.
Over here, Doc. Can I run payroll too?
Choose payroll without the pain. Visit gusto.com/radio to sign up for free.
Sun Devil football returns to Mountain America Stadium to take on the Oregon Ducks Saturday, November 18th for the Salute to Service game. Forgay will throw for that far corner. Caught for a touchdown. Get your ASU Oregon tickets today by calling 480-727-0000 or go online to sundeviltickets.com.
Gadaboo with the catch, has the first down, stays on his feet, and he's going to go to the 20, 10, 5, touchdown Devils.
80% of youth in Arizona don't drink, smoke, or use drugs. Want to know the reason why? It's you. Kids say not disappointing their parents is one of the main reasons they choose not to drink or use drugs. Visit TalkNowAZ.com because while you might worry you aren't getting through, you are. Keep it up and stay up to date about the latest Arizona drug trends at TalkNowAZ.com. This message is sponsored by the Substance Abuse Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
Steve Jurich here. After working in financial services for over 20 years, I finally confirmed what investors really want, including me. And it's simple. All they're asking for is 20% annual return with no risk and 100% liquidity. Here's the problem. A money market is safe and liquid, but offers almost zero yield. Mutual funds and ETFs are liquid with upside potential, but aren't safe. A carefully selected next-generation index annuity through IQ Wealth may offer 10% ample liquidity, principal protection, and a lifetime income yield potentially double to triple that of quality bonds. By yielding more income using fewer dollars, our system allocates more money for you for capital growth. It's a winning combination.
Call leading annuity authority Steve Jurich now, 480-902-3333. Guarantees rely on the claims paying ability of the insurer, so compare with Steve. 480-902-3333. Call Steve now.
Hey, Jeffrey O'Brien here. And listen, a lot of us play fantasy football this time of year, and it's fun. But what you should be playing is fantasy electric bills. What's that? It's where you get with Harman Solar, and they save you over 80% off your electric bill every month. Then each time you open up that bill, you're going to feel like you just won a championship. Call Harman Solar today. Get a free estimate. 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189, or go to harmansolar.com.
Grand Canyon University basketball is back for another exciting season. After advancing to March Madness in 2 of his 3 seasons as the head coach, Bryce Drew brings a team to the court this season, picked to win the conference once again, and led by first-team All-WAC selection Gabe McLaughlin and WAC preseason Player of the Year Ray Harrison. Check out the schedule at gculopes.com to find matchups with San Francisco, DePaul, Liberty, and last year's national championship runner-up, the San Diego State Aztecs. Join me, Michael Potter, and Lopes insider Paul Coro all season long right here on The Fanatic, the home of Lopes basketball.
Hey, Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Holy crap, we only have like 3 minutes of show left, do we? Killer Rabbit says, great show, gentlemen. Let's go Broncos. Chief Skull says, crap. Mina Kime says the Vikings are America's team. Oh, boy, are we screwed now. Okay, so let's talk about last night's game in the very short amount of time we have left to do it in. It was just a whole lot of damn field goals. It was just a whole lot of damn field goals, right? Like one touchdown in the whole thing. Who got a touchdown? I don't even know.
Yeah, I gotta look at it.
Did anybody get a touchdown?
Oof. Let's see here. It wasn't Garrett Wilson. He got beat up a bit, but he had 9 catches for 93 yards. That chubby quarterback for the Raiders. Let's see. He had a touchdown and an interception. So Josh Jacobs,
right.
He had a good night. Devontae Adams had a good night. I don't know who caught the touchdown.
Michael Mayer, the tight end.
What an ugly ass game that was. It was a horrible game.
Yeah, that was hard to watch. I didn't finish it.
Oof.
It's just ugh.
Yeah, and Breece Hall though. I saw this. Oh man, he knocked a dude out. He did one of those little things where he tried to hurdle a guy and he kicked him in the head with his knee. The guy was like this. He was like Michael Jackson in Thriller. And then luckily that fencing pose it went away pretty quick. So then he was walking off. But that dude's got a concussion.
There's no way he doesn't.
Yeah.
There's no way he doesn't.
But see, here's the thing. When you see that, and I also know that who was it? Josh Jacobs, he got fined $21,855 for use of the helmet. And he's mad about that. He's like, y'all got to chill with that BS. But here's the thing. When you see Breece Hall hurdling the guy, kick him in the head. So at what point does the runner start to get held accountable? Because a runner can stiff arm you. Is he allowed to grab your face mask when he stiff arms you?
I don't think he can grab your face mask.
But we've seen it never get called.
But he can put his hand on your face mask in a way that if you're a defensive player, you can't.
Yeah, see, I don't know if that's fair. And I don't know if it's probably cool that Breece Hall, and I don't think he did it on purpose, but dude kicked a guy in the head. He jumped up in the air and kicked a guy in the head. It's always impressive, when they do that and it works, but you also knocked the dude out. I don't know. Maybe that's a conversation for another time. Guess it kind of has to be because the show is over. But thank God that game wasn't really worth talking about because we're out of time to talk about it, even if it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we got a game coming up. Is it a good one?
It's a game.
Good game. You paid Broncos.
Well, if I didn't have fantasy football implications, I think
I've already lost, so I'll be passing on this one.
All right, guys. Well, whatever. We'll see you tomorrow at 3 p.m. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Hey, it's Ron Kohler. Join me